It's not working. Ah! Oh no. Of course it stops working at the last second. Just typical. The capture is working. Why isn't it showing up? That's rude. I'm confused. Why it may work? What if I do this? Okay, so that works now. Great. Oh no. Now it's a whole mess. Okay. And OBS doesn't like to work. Excuse me one moment. What's that?
Why are you ignoring me?
Well, that works, kinda. Am I even in the... It's reset. I know what happened. It's not wrong. Hang on. I can fix this. No, that was the wrong one! Okay. There we go. But not. But that's not how this is supposed to be. Why did it do this? Oh, goodness. Why? This. There we go. Okay, and now I can plonk this. So like here. Drag this down here. This should be here. No, I need to be in front of game. Chat. Hang on. Put here. There we go, and I do that, and then that. Oh god. Yeah. And now this? No, this still isn't right. I need to like rotate like the slightest bit. Oh my goodness. South Hard Violence? Hi! Oh my goodness. You were just in time for absolutely completely scuffed stream setup. Hi! Oh my goodness, hi! You're scuffed. Shout out South Hard Violence. Ooh, Darkest Dungeon! That's nice! How long have you been playing that for? Oh my goodness, I need to say names. Hi Rampart, hi Time Point, hi Unknown, hi Hungry Rex, hi Rampart. Did I already say hi Rampart? I don't know, yes I did. Hi, oh, you have a bot to do follow. Oh, you already interesting. Interesting. Hi, Henry. You're still on your first playthrough, but almost done. Like 3 bosses left. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Are you finding it fun? I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do this while I'm.
Ooh. Where am I?
EX stages? No, not yet. I need to read the rest of the event. I only did one stream of Arknights last week. South put us to watch and help him do Drakkest dungeon for 3 hours. You definitely don't have a roguelike addiction. Help!
I'm Vanilla, trainee operator from Blackstone. Looking forward to learning.
You didn't have a single casualty. Even PvP'd someone? Damn. Near misses, they don't count. You lost horror. Good. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Sorry, it PvP'd someone? Hmm? Hmm? Oh, it's pronounced? Oh. Nice. Okay, so the scuff for today was because I have been trying to work out how to multi-stream without using Streamlabs, because I've been using Streamlabs this whole time, and that's expensive. So... Hi, Cronan! Streamer said any works, so it... Damn, you got me. Hey, its pronouns are cool, okay? I don't use them, but they're cool. Warmy. No, I already have Warmy. Churny and the grain buds. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm using the free extension now. That's what the scuff was. And now I have to speak in Ya for a minute. Okay, I think that's been a minute. My apologies for that, everyone. Blame Lauren. Hi, Dummy. You have 1k points and hydrate. Wait, what? And hydrate is 20. Oh no, no! Why? So many people do this. Okay, hang on. Wait, I don't have water! Ah! I wasn't ready! I'm back! Okay, how many times has drink been redeemed? Oh no. Oh no. There's more people doing it. Oh my god. No, how many? Sorry to read and dip. We'll still be lurking, but getting ready to sleep. Absolutely. Please take care of yourself. I have to chug like my entire drink bottle. I think you'll have enough for the rest of the stream. Lisa, oh no, sorry Lisa. I was supposed, can I refund that? I was supposed to not, I thought I turned it off. Hang on. I'm gonna turn that off if that's on. Because I need to learn how to speak like that. How does it feel to become a water balloon? I'm sorry, Lisa. But I will give you one. Hi, her not real name. Is that gonna show up in the chat? No, of course it's not. Damn it! I tried to set up the stream chat so that YouTube and Twitch would be combined, but of course that's not working. I'm gonna have to find another way to do that. You are now at exactly 1,000. Should you empty your clip? No. Where meow? Lauren, I did them. I did them. Go onto the YouTube stream and rewind. I did them. Okay, let's see if I can reorganize my OBS stuff. Okay, I can pop that there. And I can pop these side by side. And now I can see more. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, good. I can see the chat now. Okay, now, as is required of me, you could do text-to-speech or 50 hydrates. No, you should check the goal. Do you not want me to play near? Or maybe you don't want me to play near. Okay, I'm gonna start sculling this drink bottle. Okay. You should do 100 hydrates. No, please don't do that. I won't be able to drink that much. I will explode. I will actually be sick if you make me drink that much. Please don't do that. I only have it like that because I'm regularly dehydrated. Oh no. Okay. Brrr. Okay. Wait, how much is this? 20. This also this 25.
Excuse me. May I come in?
Alright. Let's finish off this, shall we? I'll pop Orchid in there.
Oh, what a noisy place.
Then I will get Factory. You'll do a few more than a few more? Okay. 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 There we go. Oh yeah, thank you for following, Time Point. Damn it, I don't have the sounds up. I'm gonna have to pay much attention to that. Actually, hang on, let me grab. If I go to here, Time Point follow. Oh, Hungry Rex also followed. Thank the both of you. Wait, 100k for VIP, we can get it. Good luck! Okay. Now, let me pop out my Twitch activity feed. And then I'll minimize that. I'll turn on my TV. And I'll put the activity feed up there so that I can see. Like so. And now I can't not notice if someone follows, hopefully. Alright. Now to make alts and fill me with more. Oh no. I'm already water balloon shaped.
Hello, Doctor.
You don't have to feed me more. Okay. Who are we leveling up today? It's Gray. Gray gets to 60.
この映像はちょっと止めてもいいでしょうか。メモさせて
Being
ください。
hydrated by chat is quite far from being drowned by chat. No, I'm about to be drowned. If people hydrate more, don't pop. Oh, what? Huh? But I can swim. Who told you I could swim? You're not wrong, but who told you that? Alright. Path of Life. I actually been doing a lot. A little bird. Of course, it's always the little bird. Canary, where are you? Canary is my artist, and her nickname is Little Bird. Okay. I think it's about time that we continued before I ran out of time for the entire stream. So. We're gonna swap out Jackie, because I can do that. And we're gonna plonk in Yep.
It's been a while since I beat anyone up. Hope I didn't get too rusty.
Okay, mission start. Voice log 33. Unknown language, unknown time. Don't worry, just direct the excess water to the windpipes. Do you understand how drowning works? Are you sure? The Stargate's remodeling plan is an apparent success, and we have re-established a connection with Talos. A 2-year backlog of information has been flooding in, but it is bare of any good tidings. First, it was the observatory stations on the asteroid belt, then the entire system's interstellar hub. Finally, the cruise fleets orbiting hospitable planets also fell into silence. Even the ancient colonial fleet turned into a nomadic museum was not spared the same fate. Along with these shocking revelations came similarly unexpected data left behind by Valeria. Her notes resembled her very being, long-winded and inexhaustible. However, she seemed to have spent her last days repeatedly poring over literature and history alongside the technical documents, studying how these great men died, what their last words and epitaphs were. Like a child on the day before their coming-of-age ceremony, rifling through their parents' wardrobe in a frantic search for the attire dignified enough for an adult. Did she find her own life inadequate? Insufficiently weighty? No. She left practically all that she had at the Stargate. If she had lived in the past, wouldn't her achievements have been inserted into the annals of history? But now it seemed nothing more than a narrow door opened between two tiny locked rooms in the dark. I fear it won't be long before the door is shut once more. In the end, the history of humanity has exceeded the bounds of humanity itself, huh? Reading error occurred, too. Run fault diagnostics? Do you need my help, Mr. Avitus? Oh no, I was merely observing this abandoned little handy. Thank you for narrating the story. Now you shall lurk into your schoolwork while you read some brutal bedtime story. Yeah, well, we already got past one brutal part. Abandoned? By who? Don't worry, that's not important. What brings you here, Geordie? I'm hoping to find something to do. We're clearly in dire straits, and I'm sure this city is full of problems in need of solving. They just won't reveal themselves to me. Generally speaking, in that situation you should go to the Institute of Development Planning for an assessment. However, if you were looking for me specifically, I'll try my best to help you out. You're a highly experienced and respected scholar, after all, and many in the city call you Magister. Magister? My last work was The Death of Life, a book with no educational value whatsoever. I read it, actually, although I couldn't understand much. With so many cryptic words, like starship, Stargate, it seemed like from another world. Another world? You're right about that. But I find myself undeserving of the title Magister. Oftentimes I find myself lost in confusion. Geordie, do you remember when I told you that blood ties were unimportant? I do, but I may have been a bit misleading. While we indeed care a little for blood relations, relationships themselves are an excellent lead to follow. When one is lost, one ought to find a connection to reality, be it a life or an ideal, and seek a way out. Otherwise you'll end up like me, sinking into an extended questioning of the value of your own existence. If I may be so bold, can I ask your own relationship is? Someone very close to me. How, exactly? She shared the same thoughts and goals, and would enrich both my spirit and my ideas. I loved her as ardently as I loved Ager, as well as everything we've done for it. I live a life surrounded by mountains of prehistoric material written in their strange script and incomprehensible grammar. I enjoy the process of translating it into Agerian text. That is how we met, and I still remember how she'd throw herself into her work. Her eyebrows seemed to dance whenever she talked about something of interest to her. And when I told her so, in those exact words, she actually went to the Institute of Physical Art to find out if eyebrows could dance for real. Hi, Tali. Tali, we've been through this. Tali, we've been through this. Tali, we've been through this twice already today. I'm trying. Alright. You're using your VIP privileges for drinks. I see, I see. Ami! It's Ami! So much water. It is! Oh my goodness, it's been so long, Ami! How have you been? What a strange form of art. Did they manage it? Strictly speaking, no. But some of their researchers were inspired to later develop their technology to make hair dance on its own. We've experienced the catastrophe that silenced the entire sea, and the seaborn continue to threaten our existence. But we remain committed to exploring science, art, and our vision for the future. Stressed and overworked, not helped by the fact that you are now at work. Yeah, work is not fun, and I don't think that's a profound statement. I'm not cute, Ami. This has been established. And Lumen looking mighty breedable tonight. Tali. He is cute, but you don't have to use that word, you know. Lauren. Stop. we don't have to do this tonight. We don't have to. Oh no, Lisa's still here. Lava bridges that pump power from the planet's mantle, aquatic artery hubs that transform currents into fountains, artificial suns illuminating the depths of the oceanic abyss. Excuse me. And ecological bases filling the barren seafloor with life. We persist in transforming what the predecessors lost into mystical megastructures. We need only a spark to spur on countless inventions. 150 years is truly too short. 150 years? Yes, the average lifespan of an Aegar. Short, you say? The more dangerous the era, the more valuable our creations become. We firmly believed in living fulfilling lives, and would gladly have gone to our end without regrets as we passed down the fire of civilization. We planned an educational system we believed was better than the Institute of Incubation. Once our child was born via the incubator, we would raise them ourselves. They would possess a surging spirit and fresh ideologies, and become part of a more creative generation. It is unusual to raise children personally, but we had hoped to pass on the values we treasured from the fulfilling lives we'd lived. So what happened to her? Dead. Remember the predecessor mentioned in Death of Life? He took shelter in an unknown refuge as he watched the sky pressing down on the earth every day. He already had a premonition of his own end. There was nothing he could do but calmly welcome its advent. But that's someone else's life. A far too distant life from ours. Is it though? Are we not currently going through the same things? Give it 50 years, maybe 100, and even the vast ocean may no longer hold a single drop of pure water. The Seaborn have unwittingly overrun the ocean faster than we can create, devouring what we were once proud of, turning survival into our only priority. I watched as she was engulfed by despair. One day, she calmly gave up on our idea of raising our child ourselves. After all, everything we have inherited would only be lost in an era predestined to perish. 50 years ago, the Abyssal Hunters went to the lair of the Firstborn, and no one returned alive. Soon after, she got sick and died in depression. Our son was successfully born in the incubator, but I sent him to the Institute of Incubation. This was also when I began questioning the meaning of my own existence. My apologies, Geordie. I was supposed to be providing you guidance, wasn't I? I've already severed my relationship with the real world, but perhaps you have someone or something you still have ties with. But I gave up chasing 𝍊🋼🍊 a long time ago. I can't waste even more time chasing an unreachable shadow. Maybe I could delve into the notes he left and learn how he developed his tech, and not just because I might be his descendant. But because you also have talent and dreams in that field. You can try the beacon tower then. 𝍊🋼🍰 was involved in its reconstruction, so if you're familiar with his handiwork, perhaps you could help them out. Every Aegir leaves their own quirks in their writings, theories, or technologies, so sometimes all you need to sort out a trickier part is someone more familiar with the author. Thank you, Mr. Avitus. Advisor Blandus, are you alright? Of course, of course. The cultists failed to stop me from performing the surgery on the hunters. I'm asking about your physical condition. Thanks, Secunda. I see you're still... Given your strange aversion to medical aid, someone has to confirm that you're alright. Although judging from your condition, I'm guessing I'm not the first to try sending you to the hospital. Perhaps the waterway program is too overwhelming. I'm something of a doctor myself, so I do know how to keep myself healthy. Healthy enough to not slow down the program, anyway. Hi, Unlucky. Oh, goodness. Another day, another bankruptcy. You don't have to go bankrupt, you know? You don't have to spend everything on it. You know, you should take a look at the plant the cultists were using to kill people. This is what I get for drinking too much water and listening to you people. It's difficult to imagine someone at the Institute of Ecological Art using it as a paint. Well, seeing how you're not in any immediate danger, I'll need you to cooperate with my investigation. I saw 𝍊𝋼🍊🍊 recently. I see you have too. Only briefly, at the 𝍊𝋼𝑋𝍊𝑋. And you didn't report this? Catching a momentary glimpse of a familiar figure is hardly worth reporting. I'm not joking around, Advisor Blondus. The data scientist's case has been confirmed to be a murder by the cultists, and it may be related to the assault on the lab. 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊 seemed to know the victim well, and openly expressed his distrust of 𝍊𝋼𝍊. He's always been like that, more action than words, and ever unwilling to reveal his reasons. His unique style doesn't explain all the doubts about him. I still need to check if he's linked to several church cases. Secunda, do you really lack any other leads or suspects more worthy of investigation? Or should I ask, is this obsession with 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊 really merely your own whim? Secunda, I'm the one who rejected your application back then. What did you just say? I said it was me who rejected your application to volunteer to become an abyssal hunter. 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊 concurred, but I was the one who officially rejected you. Why? I saw your documents from the Institute of Development Planning. You'd written genetic research in the box asking for your aspirations. You only had to look at another file to see that becoming a hunter was another of my aspirations. You only had to look at another file to see that becoming a hunter was another of my aspirations. We considered you extremely talented, even among the participants of the Abyssal Hunter project. During our technical discussions, you were the only one to ask 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊 10 questions in a row and get answers for all of them, the highest record for a freshman researcher. The early transformation techniques were dangerous and unreliable. We were always searching for a better integration method. It was ultimately your theories that advanced the program's technology. I considered it an honor back then, at least. But the program itself is nothing to be proud of, Secunda. Hi, Miria. Institute of Development Planning? What kind of bureaucratic hell is this? I don't know. Oh my god, it's Shopwoman. Was a beta had to log in. Ah, I see. The concept was born nearly 2 centuries ago. A far cry from the average citizen's impression today. It was only 20-some years ago that 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊 made it into a reality. In the 100+ years before that, it was never afforded any systemic scrutiny or research, only endless debates. To exploit our countrymen and integrate the flesh of other species into ourselves to save humanity was tantamount to toppling the very foundations of 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊. But 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝋊𝋼𝋼 is a decisive man. He can abandon his research, ideals, emotions, and even his humanity without a shred of hesitation. The sole principle he abides by is to benefit 𝍊𝋼𝋼. And perhaps he will save 𝍊𝋼𝋼 someday, but our country should not be founded upon boundless self-sacrifice. This is a pretty heavy story, Miria. It's understandable that you are uncomfortable by what you're hearing, because it is uncomfortable, and it's meant to be. 𝍊𝋼𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊 understands better than anyone that his very existence is actually his country's woe. And so, The Abyssal Hunters do not need a second Ulpianus. Aega should not have a second Ulpianus. There should be no one in Aega who wishes to become another. I could practically hear him saying that. I once joked to him how much better it would be if you were my student instead. Perhaps you could continue the research he and I used to work on, the evolution of Aega's cells, or perhaps you'd start a new field entirely. Is there such a thing? Is there even such a thing as a light Arknight story? Through Long Adele? Does that count? It's pretty light-hearted for parts of it. Code of Brawl. Yeah, I was thinking Code of Brawl. I couldn't remember if towards the end of Code of Brawl it got wacky. Oh, the 𝍊𝑋𝑋 event. What was that one called again? I don't remember. That one was pretty comfy. Obviously you can't go back to it, but it was pretty comfy. Yeah, the 𝍊𝑋𝑋 Arknights. April Fool's event. But okay, I wouldn't count. It's called, oh, 𝍊𝑋𝑋's one is called It's Been a While. Right. Okay, let's go. List of Arknights fine. List of Arknights events. Upcoming events. Arknights Terra Wiki. And then I go Okay, 𝍊𝑋𝑋's was pretty cute. Let's see here. Dark Knight's memoir is dark. A Walk in the Dust is really dark. Undertides is very dark. Stilty Pharaoh is dark. Lone Trail's dark. Babel's very dark. Babel is probably the darkest one. And obviously we don't know how ending a Grand Overture? Ending a Grand Overture. We don't know how that one's gonna go. Granny and the Knight's Treasure was okay, but there was still, like, gang violence or something in it. Surging Heart of Flame was okay as well. That was, like... That wasn't really dark. It was just, like, a political ploy, right? If I remember correctly. Code of Brawl was pretty lighthearted. Twilight of Wallimund was pretty dark. The Great Chief Returns was funny. Hi, Keela Zila. How's it going? Maria No was okay, I think. Mansfield Break was pretty dark. Who Is Real was pretty dark. Operation Originium Dust was pretty dark. Dustless Holiday wasn't that dark. Nearlight was pretty dark. Break the Ice was pretty dark. It was very dark, actually. They burned down a building with people inside in that one. And we still haven't got Operator Auditors. It's so disappointing. Invitation to Wine was really crazy. Guide Ahead... Guide Ahead was sad. Lingering Echoes was sadder. Dorothy's Vision was kind of weird. Oh no, but that was also very dark, yeah, no, with the whole, like, people outside trying not to get absorbed by the metal. Ideal City was lighthearted. Okay, that one I can straight up say was lighthearted. There was nothing dark about Ideal City at all. Almost. There's like one dark thing about it, but like that barely played into the story at all. 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊, obviously we have the Mafia, that's pretty dark. What the Firelight casts, yeah, I'd say that's pretty dark. Making people into a hive mind is bad, imagine Dorothy Crane. Oh goodness. I don't think but like... But it wasn't about, like... Was it about the hive mind? No, it was the freaking, the blob of metal that consumed people. That was more dark. Even Dorothy didn't want that to happen. Where vernal winds will never blow. Oh, right, that was about a catastrophe that was about to occur and they couldn't move the city, if I remember correctly. A flurry to the flame. I mean, a flurry to the flame was kind of a gimmicky one. Ortus de Escapismo, incredibly dark. So Long Adele was pretty lighthearted. Come Catastrophes and Wakes of Vultures, I still haven't played through. 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼 im Herbst... German, I swear. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I didn't finish it, but I remember it being pretty dark up to where it was. I didn't do the rides to like 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊, I think is how you pronounce that. I didn't do Hero People Shows. I did Operation Loose and Arrowhead, which was pretty dark. There's a lot of blowing up buildings in Arknights. And then we're up to Path of Life, which is incredibly dark. I'm expecting Delicious and Terror to be not that dark. And I expect Inudi Harek Horaket to be pretty funny as well. Okay. You could have become one of the leading scientists of our time, with the opportunity to explore the primordial mysteries of all existence and lead us into the future. Blandus, the two of you had no right. I'm sorry, Secunda. Did you start reminiscing about the old days just to tell me I shouldn't bear a grudge against Ulpianus? I did it so you'd see him in a new light. Being too eager to capture him will do neither of you any good. Aren't there cultists ready and available for questioning? Don't forget your duties, Secunda. You feel pretty validated considering how many of those I described as dark. Yeah, that's a reasonable assessment. Where are they? The first floor, in a booth in the equipment administration room. Do you need me to show you the way? I know where it is. The Sea Patrol will take over the detainment of the criminals. I'm so sorry, but you can't go any further. We're currently... Wait. Didn't I see you at the tribunal? I know who you are. The emissary from land. If you don't mind me asking, what exactly are your duties on this diplomatic mission? Oh, it's me. The data scientist seemed to have completely transformed into a seaborn by the time she was found. Did the doctor just barge in? I think they did. I think the doctor just barged in. Story collections that have some light story. Oh yeah. I guess there are a couple of those. It would be difficult to obtain any further information from her, other than the fact that this set of data seems related to the waterway and the beacons. I've finished analyzing their contents. There are unusual data interactions between the beacon within the city and the ones deployed in the nests.
The signals come from many spots within the city, and I have already inspected the port hub and any possible ships. The only remaining location is Lab C-22, one of the earliest Abyssal Hunter experiment research labs.
You should be familiar with the place, then.
However, it is far livelier here than I can remember it ever being. 𝍊🼼 has even deployed a garrison in the name of protecting Blondus. A hindrance.
I'll help draw their attention if needed.
I can manage the sea patrol for now. You should focus on the toughest target. You would be the doctor of Rhodes Island, yes?
As you say.
You say your institution helped diagnose and treat 𝍊𝋼𝍊 in our hunters, and now you hope to assist me with their organic regeneration surgery.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
Then you can leave with peace of mind. The church's assault here was just a minor episode, and the hunters have already returned to their hibernation. I'll be constantly monitoring their physical condition, so your gaze, no matter how vigilant it may be, will be of little use in their recovery.
I see the hunters were telling the truth. You really have a terrible sense of humor.
I see they've developed a deep friendship with you while wandering about on land. Insist all you want, it doesn't change the fact that you will be of no help during the operation. I mean no offense. This place was just recently raided, so please return to where you came from, for your own safety.
Blondus no longer pays you any attention, his gaze falling back onto the holographic projections before him. Through those squares you can clearly see Gladia, Skadi, and Laurentina deep asleep in a transparent gel. You didn't manage to get a full grasp of Ager's writing system before coming here. After your days of fumbling your way through the city, you can still only recognize about half the symbols shown in the visuals. But you observe a more important phenomenon within them. Whenever Blondus selects an image, it would emit a faint beep. That is to say, every chosen image generates a corresponding beep on the monitoring unit. Could I help arrange the visual display?
Of course, of course. I see you really want to stay. I won't force you to leave either. It seems you really do care for the hunters, and I like people like you. Little handy. The doctor is unfamiliar with the equipment in Ager, so keep an eye on things.
Understood.
Doctor, as long as you don't touch anything you shouldn't, then... The corridor's monitoring unit just beeped. Someone's looking in here. Another beep for the experimental cabin in front and in the corner further ahead. There seems to be some sort of pattern. Someone in the control room is rapidly switching the order of the holograms back and forth. Doctor, what are you trying to tell me? This way, then. The operation is complete, Doctor. Thank you for your fast and furious cooperation. The hunters will need another 10 minutes to awaken, but I guarantee the procedure went without a hitch. If you could now leave...
The hunters seem to be deep asleep.
They were unable to get any proper rest on land, despite what I'm sure was the best possible accommodation from you and Rhodes Island. Even now they've just only arrived home, yet now must rush back onto the front lines. A single operation and hibernation session is far from enough to restore them to full strength.
It sounds like you tried your best.
I wouldn't say so. Even if I've fulfilled my duties, there's a fundamental difference between the two, after all. I believe you mentioned your expertise in the field of 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝍊. Could you tell me what it's like to be a patient?
They fight their fate for the rest of their lives.
Fate?
It means an inevitable direction or end.
Interesting. The ancient sages once discussed the concept of fate, but it's been a long time since anyone has brought it up. You see, oripathy does not exist in the ocean, and most other diseases we managed to cure. We all chose our own paths in life, and the trajectory of our civilization is ours to define. For the longest time we have forgotten what fate even is. Yet now, the ineradicable disease we've engraved into our hunter's blood cannot be dealt with medically. To borrow your concept, one may call such a problem fate. Each of the hunters held their own dreams, their own lives. But now, they have no choice but to live alongside slaughter until they die themselves. I've tried many methods to bring them back from this dead end, all to no avail. Even now.
Bloody is awake.
They seem to be in a hurry. I should get going too. It has been an honor to speak with you, Doctor. I hope you can take good care of them, if given the chance.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
涙をこぼしてしまわないように。ちょっと待ってってば。本気で行くよ。
You go here.
Whose car is this? How should I know?
Then Shahe.
不准伤害他们。この子たちに勝てる？
Oh, I see the problem. I'll put Ethan here. Gameplay break. Yes, you can call it that. Oh, I blocked one here. So now none of them can reach the exit.
着きました。本気で行くよ。
Okay, whoever comes up there is gonna go straight to... I can't define it? Strange, okay. I can't reach. I can reach like this?
Is this a good spot?
Okay, what do you do? I missed your text. Yeah. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Stop please, stop please, stop please. Stop please, stop please, stop please, stop please, stop please. Oh no, oh no. Never mind, never mind. Just tentacle power. Really? Okay, J then. Okay, good. Now Maegar's here. Okay, so they did break it. Feeling good. Oh, there's a lot of them. I see. Oh, they duplicate. Oh, it's you. Oh, it's one of them. Oh no. Oh no. Hi, Azula. Panic. Okay,
Okay, you go here.
怖がらせること
There's more of you?
暴力じゃ何も解決できないけど、お前を料理するには十分だぜ。
Okay. This is good. This is good.
What? You think you're gonna grind me
You
down
may.
with numbers?
Underflow J. Just keep stalling. Just keep stalling.
一度しか警告しないのだ
Mission accomplished.
How are you, Azula?
Sea Patrol, here to interrogate me? Interrogate. Oh, wait. Yeah. I never thought I'd have anything to do with that word.
Safe. Yes, indeed, safe. You should have thought of that when you intruded on the lab.
And what about before then? What makes you and I so different? Why interrogate me when what have I done to deserve being questioned?
At times like these, I feel like our methods are too gentle. According to our envoy from Iberia, they're more than happy to incorporate punishment into the process. So if you're finished talking nonsense, state your identity.
I'm a former roadside coral breeder.
Motive?
You ever paid close attention to the coral by the road, patroller? We hoped every cluster on the street would take on a different form or color, even different capabilities. Transport tubes passed through the cavity-filled cluster on the east side of the 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼𝍊, and under the glimmering tubes the polyps glimmer back, a patchwork of dots of light, like a nebula in miniature. Then there's the ones around the port.
As it happens, I have been paying close attention to some roadside coral recently. Specifically, the ones growing in your experimental field, where an innocent data scientist died. Her dreams, her obsession, her love for her seaweeds were as beautiful as the coral you speak of, but you murdered her. You asked a good question earlier. What makes you and her so different? So why are you still alive? What did she do to deserve death?
She found...
Found what? Speak up. Or are you implying I should be asking Cassia this question?
You.
What is the church planning against the waterway program? Will you be attacking the beacon or the weapons? Speak.
Church this, cultist that. I'm still not used to being called names like that. You sure they're not just convenient excuses for you to arrest people? This so-called church and its cultists. What part of them is holy, exactly? I don't worship any kind of imaginary entity. I just agree with how Cassia sees things. From the despair engulfing Ager, she can see this nation's fragile nature. People place too much importance on the value of things, but are unwilling to recognize how fickle these things really are. They've become worshippers at their altar. But now those values are crumbling away. Before Ager falls completely into despair, someone must sound the alarm. Hetty, you're just trying to loosen my lips. You won't get another word out of me. If you're feeling impatient, go ahead. Scan my brainwaves. You won't get anything out of that, either.
Questioning you is the last respect I'll give you as a human being, scumbag. Maybe you believe yourself innocent and your actions free of conspiracy, but you will tell me everything I want to know. Now speak. Captain, it's almost time for us to leave Skadi. I know it's urgent. The front line is barely holding ground against the Seaborn. The loss of 2 entire fleets is really hitting us hard now. Did I see the moose module? I did! I did see the moose module. I'm very happy about the moose module. According to their most recent missive, Legions 8 and 10 failed to regroup into formation, and they are now mired in a bitter struggle. If the beacon cannot be deployed at the designated position within the nest, and the deadlock continues, it will mean the failure of the waterway program. Understood. The Legion fleets are about to launch an offensive across the entire front, at all costs, all to attract the Seaborn's attention. As for us, squeeze through the battlefield, infiltrate the nest, and deploy the beacon. Correct. How would you rate your current condition, Scotty? I got some good sleep, at least. My first dreamless sleep since our last campaign. The situation in the city is getting more restive. Do you know where the doctor has gone? I know you want me to keep the peace and protect the doctor, Captain. You want me to stay. To be honest, I am conflicted. Cleansing the sea of its dregs is our duty, but I am also responsible for your safety. Have there been any signs of 𝍊𝑋𝑼𝑆 since we returned to the sea? If it has, it's been real quiet. If it speaks up, I'll shut it up. Actually, I've got something to say to you, Captain. We've never been this cautious in our work before. We've had our ways of handling this sort of thing. If the Church's God, the one the scum call 𝍊𝑋𝑼𝑆, really is inside me, then if I ever go out of control, I want you to execute me on the spot. Simple as that. My heart's right here. I trust you won't miss. Guardy, I'm not finished. If you or sharks start to fall under their influence in battle before I do, I won't hesitate either. What I was going to say is that with war close at hand, I can imagine nothing more reassuring to hear. Let's go. Miss Laurentina. No need for that, jury honorific little bird. We're not strangers, are we? Laurentina. Considering how long we've been in this city, I'm surprised this is the first time we've run into each other. This is sad. I've always wanted to take our brave little warrior on a real hunt in the depths. Sadly, the nest we're headed for is too far and too deep. No way to bring you along. It's all right. Even if I had the option, I'd stay in 𝑍�𝑋𝑼𝑅ium regardless. Oh? There's been a lot happening in the city lately. The first time I wore deep water equipment and entered the ocean, I was immediately knocked about by the current. I hate to admit it, but I'd be dead weight out there. No need to talk like that. The first time is always rough. Anyway, I can do a lot more in the city than in the nest. And once you've completed your mission, and Aega's weapon systems start cleansing the area, I'll have to return to St. Carmen and make an urgent report on why the sea surface has changed. Ah, so you meant we were to be parted once more. That's right. I'd be offering you all farewell gifts, but I wasn't expecting this before we left 𝑍�𝑋𝑼𝑅ium, so I have nothing to give. Don't worry about it. We'll meet again. Well, we won't be needing to drag you from the sea half-drowned this time. I have a feeling our next reunion will be unforgettable in its own right. Oh look, Scotty and Gladia are coming. Take care of yourself, Laurentina. You finished with your chat? Yes. It's past time we left, hunters. My throat really isn't doing great tonight.
Doctor.
Seems you got the evidence you wanted.
Yes, you've been of great assistance.
Not going to fill me in?
As previously mentioned, there are unusual data interactions between the beacon within the city and the ones deployed in the nests. It seems the bulk of the work was handled by Lab C-22, namely the facility we just infiltrated. While I do not fully understand the principles behind the beacon system or the Class 4 weapons, the contents of these interactions can still be inferred. The coordination between the beacons and the weapons has been altered. As I surmised, the waterway program has been infiltrated at the highest level.
Did you doubt the program from the start?
Correct. Even before it was conceived, I had my doubts about 𝍊🋼.
From where?
That decisive campaign.
You were meant to kill the Firstborn, but you lost contact with your team. Skadi was left to take the burden.
Though you already know, Skadi trusts you more than expected.
She's not sure what happened herself.
My dereliction was due to a moment of distraction. In a cave, or rather a cavity closest to 𝍊🋼🍊's core, I noticed something that should not be there. Crude piles of meat, turbid mucus. At first I assumed they were nodules of its body, but then I saw clearly the measuring scales and flow channels around them. A corroded water flow meter. One from 𝍊🋼, a design hundreds of years old, one that now only exists in museums.
Hundreds of years old.
Based on the degradation it had sat within 𝍊🋼🍊's body for 2 centuries. But I had been told that no other 𝍊🋼 had ever managed to reach the Firstborn before us. That is to say, before 𝍊🋼 was even aware of it. Its people had secretly come into contact with the Firstborn. The undercurrents beneath the tranquil 𝍊🋼 are more turbulent than anyone could imagine.
I also found something odd while you were out. As soon as the hunters awoke, they left.
They are being used to break the deadlock at the front. I can imagine the mission they have been assigned. Bypass the front lines, advance to the nest and deploy the beacon.
First support. Now the linchpin? It's too quick. Oh, Sukahara. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna have to turn off all of the... My apologies, Sukahara. Thank you for the drink and the posture check there. I'm gonna have to turn off all of the redeems for sound redeems, because I have not set up Nightbot here yet. So if you'll give me 1 moment. So boop, boop, boop. And then posture check drink. That's good. Oh, TTS won't work either. That'll work. Okay. I have removed everything that won't work for now. I will try and find a way to fix it. I promise. The advisor seemed more anxious than them. He left the lab at the first opportunity.
Blandus. And I fear we too must act as quickly as possible. If the coordination between the beacons and the weapons have been tampered with, then there's only one place to go. The core of the waterway program, the beacon launcher. As for you...
I'll go see the one who gave the order. Consul Clementia.
争いを止めることは追悼以上の弔いになる。経験して初めて
Okay,
この言葉
now
の意味を理解
I
でき
should
た
go
気が
to
し
the
ます。
bathroom before I pass out. Back in a minute.
Okay, I'm back. I've realized a lot of things. So first of all, I'm gonna make myself a snack to help with my throat. Then I need to make sure that my alarm doesn't sound. I completely forgot to turn that off. Okay. No, oh, no, keep that there. Okay. Then... Alright, so that's that. I need to take my med. Okay. Okay. Ah. Okay, meds are taken. Snack time. I'm just going to have a little bit of cereal. Hopefully that will help. Because my throat is really dry, even though people made me drink so much at the start. I don't know why that happened, but it is. So hopefully having a bit of milk will help here. Alrighty. Now, wait, but 5 had the... Why does 5 have the component? 5, 6, 7, but there's 9. Hmm? I guess some milk. I need to put on my wish list that I want to get a what's it called? Like a humidifier that you can put on your face? Like one of those ones that you can pick up, breathe in, and then put back down. They're made to help singers with dry throat. So I should probably invest in one of those. No, it's not an inhaler. Hang on. Let me find a picture of one. Yeah. Hang on. No, it's not. Hang on. I'm gonna crop out all the branding on it. It looks...
I just click in here and go paste? How about hang on, if I save this to desktop, I can close that, go to desktop, it looks like this. Why can't I just drag it in? Oh, never mind. Let me open the image and then... Is it safe? Hang on. Yeah, it's an inhaler, but it also has steam and like some eucalyptus and stuff to make your throat better. I've seen some people doing karaoke streams on Twitch use them in between songs. Okay. After that, hopefully my throat's doing a little better. I can feel it being a little better, but it's a little stuffy still. Alright, let's continue. Wait, little handy removes expressing characters. Another see brand? Oh no! We have to do both? Okay. Well, thanks, game.
Hello, Doctor.
Okay. I got it all. That's a first. Give me this and this. This. And this. And this. Don't break on me, please. Alright.
Oh wait, I saw base. Oh wait, no, what? No, back. Base. There we go.
角がぶつかった。
53 trust taps.
不知道老板有没有忌口？
Products received.
Give me that. Anyone have a 4? Anyone have a 4?
Hello, Doctor.
Okay. And now can I max out Gray's level? Can.
この映像ちょっと止めてもいいでしょうか。メモさせてください。
Nice. Now I need to do this. I need these. And now I need to go to squads. Go to the 4 stars. Remove Gray from this one. And add. It's either I think it's either rope or no, courier's at the back. Come on, it's these. It's rope or gitano. Right. I think since I just did Gray, I'll do rope. So this is the order that I'm leveling them in. Yeah, there are 9. Maybe 9 doesn't have any resources on it. Okay. BP6. Anathema of Ager. Oh, it is! The YouTube chat is showing up on the thingy. And no one can tell. Ugh, what a stench. All these years and they still won't make better camouflage cream. It wouldn't do any harm for us to at least smell different from the seaborn, you know. Don't move so much, Shark. It'll only make the smell stronger. When you smell this much like a seaborn, I might hack at you on instinct. The whole plateau is trembling. Those giant worm-like seaborn are tunneling through the rock beneath us. Stay concealed. Look at those numbers. Honestly, between the currents and the seaborn, who's carrying who? They're flooding towards the front line. I can't imagine. Can't imagine what the soldiers there are fighting through. Snap out of it, Scotty. You'll crush your hilt doing that. We mourn those on the front best by completing our mission. Thanks to the Legion's fleets containing the seaborn swarm, we were able to slip in and plant this beacon deep in the nest. Even a single plant could alert the seaborn to us. If it happens to be assimilated, there's no room for negligence on our path forward. The great bleached coral will cover us as we dive for the depths of the rift. Yes, Captain. You're due, right? Fast learner. A lot of students come here on work experience. With all the operation protocol, it never takes more than a day for them to slip up. You, though, picked it up just by watching it for a little while. You done this before? Just a bit. I've done some work in an Iberian lighthouse. The beacons share a few principles with it here and there. Hi, Latia. How's it going? I see. So you're into engineering. Explains a lot. I've worked longest as a caregiver, though. Caregiver? What kind of job is that? Huh? Watching over the sick and elderly, taking care of their daily needs, sorting out all the little things for them. Gotcha. So it's like slapping little handy modules 153 and 274 in at the same time. But the little handy is impersonal, right? That's correct. You look taut as a wire, Geordie. This isn't an exam on Aga general knowledge. I just want to ask, if the little handy has no personality, how is it supposed to meet the emotional needs of its patients? To care for people is to meet them in their weakest, most vulnerable moments, after all. I'd say physical frailty doesn't particularly inspire emotional needs in us. And if we're headed for the grave, even with illness, we don't feel especially vulnerable either. We do let the old and sick request some final company before their euthanasia, though. Usually a leading philosopher will come in. Scholars from whatever field in general, really. I know nothing about philosophy. I just talk to them about the most banal things. Food, flowers, sunshine, and so on. But for some reason, they're always happy to listen. You're a great guy, Geordie. That shows how keen you are at grasping people's moods. No promises, but something tells me you'd shine in the Institute of Developmental Planning, or Institute of Incubation, too. Could I? Regardless, thank you so much. I've finished resettling the storage facilities here. Wonderful work. Now about... Wait, did you just see something zip past the hologram? What? Intruder! You? Young man, you saw none of this. You have no reason to complicate things. So many institutes. Is there an Institute of Breeding too? Institute of Eating? I don't know about the second one, but I'm pretty sure they have the first one. I think that's what the Institute of Incubation is. I think they, like, literally, instead of, like, becoming pregnant, they take out the embryo and then, like, raise it in a vat and then send it off to school afterwards. That's what I've found out from this. Parents are allowed to raise their own children here, but it's not common apparently. They're raised by the group, if that makes sense. It's very impersonal. I probably wouldn't like to live here, despite all the advances in technology. I'd find all the science cool, but everything else would just freak me out. Wait! Shark's soar will be too loud. Skadi, you open the way. Cut through this cluster as quietly as you can. All right. For but an instant, the invading hunters are bathed in vivid color and indistinct light. That which the Iberians call Undersea brand creeps along the coral layers, the spawn of the many lilting in their craggy nests. Eggs are swept from this cliff face as the currents pass, metamorphosing as they spiral down. Indescribable folds yet unfolding until a sea-born form emerges. The newborns silently gather together, their trembling bodies echoing all throughout the nest. Intertwining pulps and feelers, they sweep each other off far away. They just keep on leaving the nest, rushing for the front line. Wait, don't you think something's off? How did that one turn into a whole bunch out of nowhere? What is it doing? Multiplying? Splitting? I've had this gnawing feeling ever since we bailed out the fleet. Swordfish, have these assholes evolved even more? The Seaborn are forever evolving. Skadi, can you remember the first Seaborn you ever killed? Not really. Just that it had a lot of gross tentacles. And that's what I mean. Tentacles, stingers, chitinous shells. We could still discern the organs, identify their functions at a glance. Prior to this, the Seaborn's only skill was to hijack whatever evolutionary progress other species had accrued over the epochs. But now we've got these things. I can't begin to tell where their organs are. If I didn't know better, I might not even think to connect them to the fodder we were slaughtering just 3 months ago. The Seaborn's needs have outgrown the evolutionary advancements. They've begun seeking their own answers, which means their evolutionary course now transcends our knowledge. If we are unable to gloss their physical composition, unable to discern their organs' unique functions, unable to predict the direction they will evolve, we won't know how to kill them. We could fetch a specimen for Advisor Blandis while we evacuate. Still, the mission takes priority for now. Skadi, you and I will find where the wall hasn't yet been breached, and embed the beacon there and activate it. Laurentina, spot our surroundings. We withdraw as soon as it's planted, without delay. Madam Consul. Greetings, Dr. of Erd's Island, and well met in Miliarium. At long last, our first official conversation. Well, Calcit's the official Iberian envoy. Save your modesty. Dr. Calcit's awe-inspiring knowledge transcends the boundaries of space and time, so for her to be keeping you up her sleeve, the depths you hide must be deeper still. Whether you come to me in doubt or with conclusions of your own to share, I am prepared to listen. You sent the hunters into a literal nest of danger. You're endangering 3 of our operators. Much like Dr. Calcit, you have misgivings about this decision. Yet I had no choice but to order them to meet death in the eye once more. My hand was forced. Only they can break our present impasse. Rational? Maybe a little too rational? The legions are deployed to capacity. The Abyssal Hunters must assume combat duties, even having recently returned to Ager. You suspect this situation was deliberately engineered. I gather you returned from the city with findings of your own. The beacon weapon link was tampered with. Little handy. Priority order. Contact the supervisors for the beacon and Class 4 weapons R&D. And notify all Legion commanders. Leave enough of your fleets at the front to curb the Seaborn and assist the hunters. The rest should withdraw in order and return to the city. The Sea Patrol will seize the beacon tower right away. You have our gratitude for informing us, Doctor. I know I owe the 2 of you an explanation for how I have deployed the Abyssal Hunters. We don't hold you accountable on a tactical level. You know their prowess against the Seaborn better than us. I can only say this. Your powers of observation would not have missed the scales on Gladia's neck. We can assume the hunters will have no trouble seeing this assignment through, but what was your guarantee they would be spared from mutating while in the nest? The word of Advisor Blandus and nothing more? Advisor Blandus' statement at the tribunal served to strengthen Militarium's confidence in the Abyssal Hunters. I confess, though, it failed to ease my mind. I take it the Hunters still weigh heavily upon your thoughts. Aegar never truly wound down the Abyssal Hunter project following the strike on the Firstborn. I have not been involved, but my countrymen have every right to interrogate me for my awareness of it alone. For a short time after the Firstborn died, the project went through major upheavals. Anomalies plagued the experiments, and the Church grew only more fixated on the Hunters. This suggests there are urgent hidden truths about the Hunters yet to be found, yet it also proves that the project can no longer run publicly. To this day, it still operates in secret, but even now Aegar has only 3 hunters including Gladia. No, 4. For how constantly we iterate on our technology, we have never succeeded in making another Abyssal Hunter. No matter how stable the subject's signs and psychological indicators are, they lose their reason the moment they awaken, immediately corrupting into Seaborn. They don't even make it out of the chamber, let alone to the ocean proper. Abyssal Hunters are bound by blood. We forgot. What is this blood binding them? We don't know. We still don't know why Gladia's group have kept their reason intact. Sounds like they're your key to solving this. Yet you chose to send them to the front. Indeed. For Gladia, Laurentina, Skadi, and all the participants, it was an irresponsible act. But the front lies at Militarium now. We made it in time to cut off the seaborne tide as it laps at dry land, but Militarium is far from impregnable. If we fail to open the waterway now, it's only a matter of time before the city is lost. The Seaborn have organized to seize the waterway by the throat. Storming them head-on will invite a large-scale counterattack, at which point I fear none will survive. Is risking the Hunters a necessary cost here? The Hunters may well give their lives, they may well transform, but right now they are our greatest hope. Gladia has always been skeptical of the waterway program's feasibility. It was for that exact reason that she did not hesitate to serve as a link in its chain. Your doubts and struggles may differ, but all roads lead to the same place in the end. That seems to be an unspoken yet shared understanding among the Aegar. One not without its sorrows. Upon the bricks of the 𝍊🋼🍊 entrance, the architect Martus left this maxim: there is no justice here, only the path ahead. In later generations, some criticized Martus as being overly fixated on material value, squandering his energy on comparing worth against worth, but ultimately all that mattered to him was Aegar's path forward. Justice was merely a value cherished by the masses, and he preferred to apply his thought elsewhere. Perhaps Gladia and I have been acting on his philosophy without realizing it. Dr. Calcit, everything you have said rings all too true. I am bound in the end to carry Aegar's arrogance with me, and nothing will change that. I would like to amend that wording. Arrogance as a word seems insufficient to describe Aegar. You respect equally the humanity of your every citizen. To realize each individual's worth is the guiding star for your entire society's development. Yet at the same time you are capable of making the cruelest judgments and calmly accepting them for the sake of Aegar's survival as a whole. Calmly, you say? We Aegar are not so cold-blooded. Whenever you would feel wrath, our own hearts are far from unstirring. These are feelings I had wished to convey to Gladia once upon a time, but I realized I had no right to. Every decision I made for her, I based in pure rationality. How natural, then, that I lost that right. How dare I ask for an emotional pardon? The same is true even now. And so, calmly, I accept my own judgment. The designated individual has been contacted. Advisor Blandis did not pick up. Dr. Calcit, Doctor, I am deeply sorry I could not give you an appropriate answer. But right now I ask that you permit me to carry out my duty. Here we go. Those things creeping on the floor. I remember seeing this back in Iberia. Now the sea brand is what the Iberians call it. One of the ways the seaborn propagate themselves. Remember to use your little handy to clean it swiftly. The little handy we've been issued this time is equipped with drilling tools, so it can also be used to destroy seaborn-created excrescent carapaces if required. Oh no. So what happens if I do this? Okay. I can do that. And then that. This, and I don't know what will spread the brand. Oh, I can't do that yet. Okay. 8, 9, 30, 31, 32. Okay. Did these things spread brand? I wonder. Okay, Ethan goes here. Oh, goodness, they're strong. Yep, okay. Definitely getting to the harder stages now. Oh, goodness. So this guy also deals AoE damage. How fun. Yikes.
Whose car is this? How should what? You think you're gonna grind me down with numbers?
As much as I love hummus and flutionada, I think I need healing for this stage, just maybe. I think I failed it. Okay. Or do I do that?
You're not getting away.
Ethan's here. Grab this. Jay here. There we go. That should work. Okay. Actually survived, yeah. Kinda crazy.
Mission accomplished.
Ah, awake? I've taken care of your wounds. You'll find 2 doses of stimulant beside you to bring you back to your senses. Shall I administer, or would you prefer the little handy? Fine, do it yourself. Very practiced motions. It seems you've recuperated well. Now, useless as I know it, I do need to tell you this. You cannot keep experimenting on yourself. We'll have to cover your eyes as well to avoid looking like you've been tortured. The mask won't be enough, at least. My wardrobe has nothing to do with my modifications. True. You've always looked that way. We all got shivers as you entered the classroom and sat your gloomy self down. At this time, we've known each other, and you barely even show me your face. Blundus, given that you've started cracking jokes, I take it the results are less than awful? Now that's tricky to say. The emotional ride I've been through felt like being seated next to Secunda as she sailed a patrol ship with both eyes shut. That is to say, utter madness. First of all, I noticed a baffling effect in your auto-adaptive junction. Your body's reaction is bizarre. When the seaborne genes exert their abnormal dominance, your anti-seaborne rejection response doesn't intensify. No, it actually lightens somewhat. Which means my transformation is getting faster? No, quite the opposite. It was right as I was cancelling the surgery that I observed a curious phenomenon. Once your rejection ebbed, your seaborne genetics slowed down their influence. As if to be crude, your body and the seaborne genes had reached some sort of understanding. This is certainly worth further study, but for now I need to know one thing. Will this impact the hunters in their upcoming battle? Slaying the firstborn will be our single most important operation since we were created. At this point I will allow no freak accidents. I've observed no negative effects so far. I'll be setting up a few more risk assessments before you head out. That said, if we're going to figure out what's underpinning this phenomenon, then you'd best come back alive so I have something to study at all. I'll be honest, I'm anxious. We've never waged a war on this scale before. We're marching every single abyssal hunter plus 3 whole standing legions off into a single trench. If not with a war like this, how would we ever kill their Genesis-zoic, their source, their god? Do you truly believe we can polish the C1 off just like that, once and for all? You've worked with us for over a decade and you still have doubts about the Hunter Project. Do you want the truth? The truth is I should have vetoed this project at the audit stage. A roadmap to warping evolution, predicated on sacrificing our own people's humanity. If not for you, I wouldn't have even entertained its feasibility, let alone poured 10 years of my own blood and sweat into it. But it's a sunk cost now. The more I doubt it, the more crucial it is for me to be its core member, to steer it with my own 2 hands. Yet I can't shake the thought of how many monsters this lab's created. The majority of which were put down by your own two hands, 𝍊🋼🋼. Yes. Their deaths don't even qualify as sacrifices to you, do they? A homeland ravaged by Seaborn will only wrest away even more Aegir lives. We've had this debate 1,000 times, we don't need another before I leave. Get the risk assessments going. Furthermore, suspend all ongoing hunter modification trials. Come again? With no hunters present, it would be difficult to deal with any aberrant results. Aberrant. 𝍊🋼🋼, you've been the director of the Abyssal Hunter Project for its entire lifespan, and even you can't be fully confident in it, can you? That's the real reason you chose to be the first subject. Can this campaign put the Seaborn crisis to rest? Yes or no? Even you can't be sure. Blundus. No. 𝍊🋼🋼, I've spent each and every day hoping more than anyone that this will end in victory. Maybe when you sail back safe and sound, the project will have no more reason to exist. Think, we could even pick up pick up where we left off on all our old research. You barely even remember, do you? Well, I ran into our old teacher at the council. He asked about that dream of ours. The evolution of Aegis cells. It made for no particularly grand abstract, but glimpsing the whole course we've run for a microscopic cross-section, that's a beautiful pursuit, and no one can tell me otherwise. From our ancestors swaying their limbs in the rivers eons ago, to us here and now as we debate science and ideals, there's a flow to it all, an order of events. It's not too late for us to witness it, is it? You finally came, 𝍊🋼🍊. You won't even resort to flaunting your wretched sense of humor as a plea. Wretched sense of humor. 𝍊🋼 would agree with you. You know, she's really grown to resemble you over the years. I fear we'll have another you on our hands someday. Along with the countless other yous born by or against their will, throwing themselves into the fight against the Seaborn, and perishing in combat until the shores are soaked in Aegis blood. It grieves me to see how much she's changed. The changes in you, though, I can barely begin to comprehend. Stop what you're doing right now and explain your game to me. Blondest cultists of the deep. You're late. I've hardly anything for you to stop now. Just a moment ago, my holochart received a signal from Nest 37. The final beacon is activated and the Class 4 weapons are warming up. You're not putting this one down, 𝍊🋼🍊. And if you hoped to learn what the Church is planning, I can't help you. They were tripping over themselves to protect me out of their own wishful thinking, and then one day, they just went and changed their minds. If not for their actions, I know I might have been caught long ago. No, though. I've never counted myself among their members. I can't even make heads or tails of their warped doctrine. Okay, the peoples on Twitch are watching some ads. If they aren't subscribed or using an ad blocker or having like Amazon Prime or however many things can stop them from getting ads. It'll be about 10 more seconds. I'll be patient. You're still lurking. Glad to see you're still here, not real name. Still, if you're asking what drove me to do all this, I would love to bend your ear. Excellent, then I won't need to resort to violence. Violence. Still taking that as your first impulse. If it weren't for the embarrassing situation you've put yourself in, I'm sure the Institute of Development Planning would love to have a chat with you. Want to know something? It only took moments after the failed campaign for them to declare you all dead. Then soon enough, the Institute came down to me with an invitation to restart the Hunter Project. Almost fell asleep because my voice is calming? What? That can't be right. You haven't seen the casualty report for that campaign yet, have you? You should have a read. Abyssal Hunters, Legionnaires, their sacrifice is a tragedy, yet the ending a farce. Violent resistance was always a dead end. The project was dead in the water from the start. Granted, Aegis never used crude platitudes or propaganda to encourage such sacrifice. Every one of the project's subjects was given the freedom to make an informed decision. But using the sacrifice of our citizens as a market standard, well, that makes the very question of free choice much ado about nothing. Once Aegis' worth lay in all that they had built up and created during their lifetime. And now, our very lives, even our deaths, are price-tagged. I will record your words, even though it's pointless. Blandis, I expected your suspicion and dissent to drive you to search deeper, not to reduce you to the cowardly, self-deceiving man you are now. Whether out of passion or mourning, it's still the same brand of rhetoric spouted by every fallen claiming to foresee the fall of Aegir itself. Assigning a character to a nation, anthropomorphizing it to critique its values, even as a method of inflating one's ego, it's shoddy at best. But even as you weep over the senseless sacrifice, have you never imagined how many lives your destruction of the waterway program will take? Destruction? No, Ulpianus. I'm trying to open up a true path for us. What have you done? Now, Ulpianus. Be patient. I have nothing to hide. Blandis brushes past Ulpianus and stops before the hollow chart. With his back to his old friend, he passes a finger over the sea of glowing dots and points to a flashing spot in the top right corner. See that? That's where the hunters are right now. They activated the last beacon and are probably caught in a deadly struggle, but they aren't in any danger. Any true danger, that is. The moment they can fight no more, that's when the weapons kick in. The Seaborn will cease fighting, every last one every last thronging one of them will fall asleep. Keep going. If you remember your auto-adaptive junction tech, you'll have no trouble understanding what I tell you next. That old surgical accident I had? Well, you were right. It was absolutely worth the further study. The junction brought about a homeostasis in you on the microscopic level. Your body no longer rejected the Seaborn genes, and they miraculously stopped overtaking you. It may have been by chance, but in no time at all I was able to reproduce your phenomenon on the macro scale. To an extent, I could delete the hostility Seaborn bore towards humankind. And before Gladia's unit left Finesse 37, during their surgery I took the opportunity to reproduce that accident of yours. You wanted to recreate in the hunters an accident with no proven explanation, no clear effects, and not even a trace of actual rigorous verification. No. What happened in your body has long since graduated from freak accident. While you were missing, I spent every waking moment on the research. I trusted you hunters were still alive, trusted you would come back, and that I would help you be free of that blasted fate of yours. But you refused to restart the Abyssal Hunter project. How did you? Were you experimenting on yourself? No wonder your body stinks of miasma. My physical condition doesn't hold a candle to yours, naturally. I haven't much longer now. I can practically feel every second of my life slipping away. But it was worth it. I've done all I needed to. Tell me, Ulpianus, that the hunters were born to be a solution, not a tool, not a weapon, not a consumable destined to be tossed aside. They were. Good. And the project was a failure. But the hunters still have a chance to fulfill their calling, yet not through senseless slaughter and sacrifice. You'll live to show your worth, not die to give Aegir a few more final gasps. The Abyssal Hunters will be the start of a revised relationship between humanity and the Seaborn. If I can have them mistake humankind as their own, then maybe I can get the many to see Aegir as a neighbor. And you had your eyes on the Waterway program all along. More precisely, the Waterway program came to me first. Clementia reached out to me at practically the same time as the Institute. She let me in on both the game plan for the Waterway program and the research project for the Class 4 weapon array. Weapons rooted in biotech like them can impact seaborne behavior at large. The theory grounding them has a natural affinity with the auto-adaptive junctions. By then I'd already gathered the data I needed to perfect the junction tech, to the point that it was no longer limited to human subjects anymore. so I made a tiny tweak to the Class 4s. The instant they activate, we can close the book on our fight with the Seaborn. The Abyssal Hunters, the Class 4s, it'll all transcend the boundary of species. It'll become a path, a bridge. You can't make this up. 2 centuries of constant war between Aegar and the Seaborn, and one little trick is likely all it takes to stop it. Maybe the severity of this war was a fiction from the very beginning. Now I mean no offense to our predecessors, but at least we still have the power to choose a different path. For some reason, I don't think what he thinks will work. Not that I'll get to see it. The rest is out of my hands. At least I was lucky enough, in the end, to see you at the 𝍊🋼🍊. You're the one who started the Hunter Project. You know your way around self-adaptive junctions. You've been through all of this. Only you, 𝍊🋼🍊. Only you can keep the work going. Is that why you were so blithely waiting for my arrival? To entrust your work to me before you die? It's my turn to invite you. Aegar and the Seaborn have a chance at achieving true symbiosis. Perhaps that's a future you wouldn't mind bearing witness to. I refuse. I did expect that, but still, that was a little too blunt. 𝍊🋼🍊, this is the control room where I'll die, but... Blondus, even if your death is certain, you must know. You have no right to go regretting anything, fighting anything. There was a time, not so long ago, where we ventured to make sense of the meaning of our existence by studying how our own Aegarian cells had evolved. But you've ruined everything you had with your own hands, all for one wild flight of fancy. The Seaborn are noxious scourge upon the ocean. There is no point in doubting that. They are beings full of unknowns, yet you believe in symbiosis with them as if they are your friends. Blondus, that is the same arrogance that Aegar had in assuming victory was inevitable. No. This is that 100 times over. Are you even aware of what you're thinking? Can you describe this hopeful vision you see in your fantasies of symbiosis? Are the Seaborn to be magical seafloor fairies spoken of in children's stories, or will they be our beloved household pets? Will Gladia debate philosophy with them? Will Skadi take tea time with them? Will Laurentina be dancing with them? You can't paint even a single proper picture, can you? Your own proven record as a scientist you were thrown away. When I see you now, Blondus, I can only laugh. I've never heard you say so much in one breath, 𝍊🋼🍊. You mean to tell me you despair? Yes? The only one who ever despaired was you. So you have no right to go regretting anything, fighting anything, not in front of me. Hang on. Writing something down for next stream title. Every fallen must be sentenced, and their every corpse should be hung from the dry reefs. Is it even in you to sentence me? The campaign to slay the Firstborn was of questionable points, and you stand as the greatest suspect. Everything you've done now puts you at odds with Aegar. This nation has rejected you. And so I have no choice but to take on your noble work. The man I knew would never have given this con man's rhetoric. I'm simply stating the facts. Then in this moment, the last I will ever spend as an Aegar, I sentence you. Blondus says nothing back. Perhaps he's lost the energy, or given up on retorting. This dialogue of monologues has dragged on long enough, to the point it's begun to wear on him. The golden hollow chart ripples before him. Too bright, he thinks, and so he closes his eyes. From somewhere, our communication intrudes and shatters the brief silence. With it, he hears the shrill grinding of his old friend's anchor being dragged across the floor. But only one thought makes it in time. He couldn't even give the hunters a welcome home hug. Why do I kind of sound like Chris Griffin? How dare you? I would delete that comment if I could, Flowey. But yes, it is because I have a raspy throat right now. But never compare me to anything from Family Guy ever again. Oh my god, there's another story part? You're kidding me. Oh, for God's sake. I just want to play game. Do the stories have to be frickin' novels every time? 𝍊🋼🍊🍊. You. You. So it is you. Okay. We met once. At Grand Faro, actually. It was you who approached me, though I never learned your name until after I got here. Please, you're not supposed to be here. It's... Control center for the beacon tower. That man on the floor, did you do that? It's the most fitting end for one who fell. What did he do? None of your business, young one. Leave this place for your own safety. The nest beacons have all been activated. The sabotaged weapons are warming up. How else can I warn the hunters? Thank you, Tali. Is Laurentina's group in danger? Did this man do it? Is that why you... You won't tell me. You don't trust me. Well, I don't trust you either, honestly. You never introduce yourself, and seeing all this, it's really only right to suspect you. But they're your friends. You're a hunter too. I think I know a little about your tales together. He did his dirty work on them before they left. They're still caught in the seaborne tide for now. I'm not entirely certain what's going to happen, but the danger is definite. If they went to plant the beacon and are still in the nest, maybe we could send their beacon a signal from this tower to warn them. I was helping out here earlier. I know roughly how the basic controls work. Then do it. Oh, okay. Well? It's much more complex in practice, but I can say this tower seems to operate on a very similar framework to a lighthouse's control system. As far as I'm aware, 𝍊🋼🍊 passed through this city and aided the tower reconstruction effort. The technician mentioned that the tower will automatically navigate the weapons once every beacon is active, and all other controls will be locked out by the program. So if we want to send a signal to one of these beacons, let me see. Just as I feared, it's impossible to resume control. Do you have any way to circumvent the lockdown? If 𝍊🋼🍊 was involved in the reconstruction, then maybe, just maybe. I have a very stupid plan. My entire time here in Miliarium, I've been trying to get to understand the man 𝍊🋼🍊 was. He had a habit of writing things down, always noting his thoughts, his suspicions, etc. He kept it up even on dry land. Was it so he wouldn't forget things? I think I can try temporarily shutting down the main control panel's data decomposition system like this. Before, you were bringing up my history. You called me 𝍊🋼🍊's descendant, but looking at his messages, you can tell I don't resemble the genius architect one bit. My parents were just Aegars rooted to the land. There are plenty of us across Iberia and other terrestrial countries. Strictly speaking, we don't even count as... So what? It used to trouble me. But recently I've been learning to let myself get over it. To not think so hard about it. It's just... You were the first to ever mention that to me. So I wanted to be sure. Why did you think I was? True. I did miss the mark, but I never engage in baseless speculation. There is more of a bond between you than you think. Bond? The profound silence ruined Iberia. The lighthouses fell dark along the coast, and doubt and suspicion grew in their shadow. 𝍊🋼🍊 was forced to flee the splendor he himself had designed. Gran Faro was one place he sheltered while on the run. The research notes your parents left you are undoubtedly connected to him. There were people he knew he could entrust his life's work to. Look at what you're doing now, young one. You may not be his descendant by blood, but you have most certainly inherited a portion of his wisdom. Milarium is the first Aegrian city you visited, and coincidentally the last 𝍊🋼🍊 stopped at before leaving the country entirely. His trail covers the entire seabed, and everywhere he visited those of great repute to share his thoughts on dry land, his conjectures on Terra's future. He had hoped someone would head for the continent with him, so that one day land and sea might stand against crisis together, seek new possibilities together. Many admired him for his talent, but perhaps his suggestions were too ahead of his time, for in the end, hardly any responded to his invitation. In Milarium, he even volunteered to take part in this tower's reconstruction, in exchange for an audience with the then consul. And, do you need to ask, he was rejected. But as the work finished, he made the final decision to wrap up his winding tour and officially depart for the faraway soils. Even if his time on the road had gained him practically no support. Think over what you've done. You left the town you knew, and came to this alien place they call your home. That too took incredible courage. In this respect, you and 𝍊🋼🍊 are not dissimilar. Conversely, if all you'd shared was just blood, then that would have been something to be ashamed of. I do not usually play psychological counselor, 𝍊🋼🍊🍺. I think, really, that did it. At the very least, signaling a single beacon shouldn't be an issue. Let's see. Nest 37. I hope Florentina and her friends noticed. Actually, Senor Ulpianus. Is it just me, or is the air getting stuffy? My comms picked up a faint gravitational wave. What a strange feeling, seeing the ripples in space-time with my own eyes. Just like in the manual, seems the beacon's already active. According to Clementia, this beacon going live should mean the Class 4 weapon array will automatically come online. We should head back the way we came immediately. Aw, and here I was thinking we'd stay behind and enjoy our front row seats. What's so fun about watching cannons fire? Weren't we supposed to have something rather different in store? I thought we'd see the Seaborn silently popping all at once across the entire stretch.
How poetic, how fitting, when you consider all the little bastard's wrongs, no? Though Class 4 weaponry may not affect us, pointless dithering will only invite more variables. Fine. Off we go then. A soft murmur reaches Spectre's ear, and when she turns to look, she meets with an eye, more accurately, a nucleus leaping to and fro. The flagella of the seaborn sticks to her cheek, soft as a kiss. Spectre sees the nucleus pulsing in a clear rhythm, blending with her own heartbeat. Shark! Don't attack yet, Scotty. It went straight past us. Doesn't strike me that we spooked it. More like something pulled it away. The beacon. Captain? The gravitational waves coming from this thing aren't supposed to be so irregular, are they? Scotty, behind you! Move! The currents reverse. The tide sweeping the seaborne surges back into the nest, the sound of beating membranous wings, of compressing and unfolding, of clamoring mouthpods, of roaring streams. The whole space reverberates with layer upon layer of cries, of pure elation. The beacon's been completely drowned out. The eggs and newborns are multiplying rapidly. Clementia said all formless newborns would enter straight into necrosis, and the mature individuals would flee from the area. While the fungal mat, the vegetation, the whole nest would decay, starting from the environment. But clearly we're not seeing much of a collective necrosis here, are we? If anything, I'd say they're full of life. Pull back! Nadia turns the instant she barks the order, her lance piercing the seaborne ahead as ruptured tissues burst about like blood. Ever since that little bastard touched my face, I've been feeling sleepy somehow. How very strange. It's been so long since I felt this way. Ugh, I thought it was just me. This shouldn't be. Combat only sharpens an abyssal hunter's lucidity. Atlantis. You mean the auto-adaptive junction surgery? We discovered an anomaly, and Blandis certainly treated us, but he also tampered with the procedure. Yet whether coincidence or not, the Church's attack cleared our suspicions of him. This was my mistake. But he's the advisor. Why would he... If we want answers, we must make it back to the city. Vector skips ahead at the vanguard, her dances graceful as ever, with but a twirl, a high RPM saw blade leaves the seaborne ahead carved in two. The beasts have noticed us and yet show hardly any will to attack. Captain, Shark, have you noticed the water flowing slower? Get a hold of yourself, Scotty. No, wait. She's right. These animals are secreting something. Finally, the tide receding,
The nest temporarily bears the truth of its transformation. Seaborn living and dead fall into every ravine in the seabed. The nest's borders have begun to bleach, chitin coming together into a thick crust. Something has provided them immense nutrition. The whole nest is forming a carapace and spurring every life within to evolve faster. A shell. If we take the Iberian's so-called Nethersea brand as the roadmap for the organism's expansion, then this shell is the final act of fueling before it begins. Without warning, the beacon pulsed irregular gravitational waves. Right afterward, the seaborne swarm began to nest around it. Either this is some elusive aberration in the weapons themselves, or someone in the city is trying to remotely control the beacon to transmit information, or probably both. Whatever Blandis did to us during surgery has dulled our senses. Consider the hunt on. Time is of the essence. Get out of here! Your cheeks are flushed, and your clothes soaked through with sweat. I'm not nervous. No. You're accustomed to dry, arid land. You're more sensitive to dampness than an average Ager. The humidity is racking you. Hold on. Look at the chart. Densely packed biosignatures from right above us. It's the dome above the tower. The Seaborn are seeping into the city through there. No, but weren't there two legions out there keeping them at bay? Plus the hunters. Even if some from the other nests slipped around the perimeter, 𝍊🼼 still has countless sensor units across the dome and all sorts of complex defenses. How could the Seaborn get into the city without a sound? Did this tower draw them in? But why? My guess is someone showed them the path. Blandis, had it ever dawned on you that your folly would lead to such a disaster? Ulpianus is pensive. He does not turn to look at the culprit of all this lying motionless on the floor. He stares closely at the holographic sea chart. Dots representing the Seaborn swarm converge right on 𝍊🼼's coordinates. They shine like the stars. Okay. Ooh, coal. I like coal. Okay. There are always chimes like little bells resounding from the dome, the result of countless tentacle-shaped biomonitors analyzing the most minute changes in the ocean current. Occasional dull roars echo faintly from the port, as warships coming to and from the harbor gracefully displace vast amounts of seawater like gigantic fins. The goods, flying through aerial optic cables and squeezed baits to every household, emit a near subsonic buzzing. These myriad noises, varied yet not chaotic, have become the ambience of 𝍊🼼, long since faded into the background for its 10,000 or so residents. But now, all those residents stop in their places. They wonder if their ears are deceiving them. At first, it was like a wisp of wind sweeping across an angular reef, then like a newborn who tentatively poked its head out of the warm womb, and after that a colony, a nest, an entire region of sea. The thick, bizarre sound of blooming of life could be heard clearly. The children of the sea now give back to the ocean. They give civilization a kiss, and civilization is now filled to the brim with life. Look. The usual tower looming over the city is gone, replaced by an enormous stone column. the type seen only in karst caves in the sea. Layer upon layer of porous, slimy, and smooth seaborne tissue encircle the walls of the beacon tower, yet light from the equipment within still permeates, casting an ethereally enchanting glow over its surroundings. Microbial colonies float down from the column, blossoming into oddly shaped life forms. If it weren't for the statues I can just barely make out, I'd have thought these were untouched wilds. Nest conversion. Why would there be seaborne in the city? I know we haven't. Doesn't matter if we did or not, as long as the results are as expected. I just hope it's a lesson those ever-sinking Aega will never forget. What do we do now? We keep it growing, and stop the city from pushing it back. Was murdering Tullia not enough? Do you need to destroy the entire city to sate your appetite for chaos? At first I was planning to tail you back to your allies and save myself some effort. But since it's an emergency, I'll have to haul in my net now. You will be the 33rd and 34th Church of the Deep cultists caught by the Sea Patrol this month. The Sea Patrol. You've harmed a lot of our brothers and sisters lately. Clinging to the current order will do you no good. What Aega needs isn't a struggle for life and despair. It's... Shut up. I'm not here to debate. Prefecta Secunda. An unusual concentration of biosignatures has been detected. They've tripled in number in a short time. It seems the Seaborn have fully converted the tower into their nest, and are now steadily producing more of themselves. We cannot allow them to spread to the other city units. The nearby civilians have already started evacuating by themselves. Take a squad to guide them to the emergency shelters. Remember to clear the roads of all support machines. If Seaborn contaminate them, they could be used as weapons against us. The rest of you, get in formation and deploy barriers. Keep the Seaborn within the perimeter of the beacon now. Yes, ma'am. I was sure the Class 4 weapons had already been activated. Don't tell me. I'm listening. Lock down all Class 4 weapons immediately. I want a thorough inspection of the entire system as soon as possible. All troops who have fallen back, regroup at the port immediately. From now on, all combatants are to remain on standby on the channel. I'm guessing this isn't part of the plan. Look at this real-time nautical chart. Just an hour ago, seaborne biosignatures were generally stable. But now, every nest on the continental shelf is getting closer and closer to each other. No, it's not the nests... No, it's not that the nests are moving. They are endlessly expanding. Like countless drops of ink spreading across a sheet of paper. This entire stretch of sea is turning into a nest. The scattered nests are linking together as one, with Miliarium in the middle. Did Aega really bring weapons to disperse the Madam Console, or a mass of catalysts? Are you annihilating them or feeding them? If Blandis tampered with the link between the beacons and the weapons, it must have been him who altered their effect as well. And as a result, Aega's hopes of landfall have been exploited. As the Waterway Program's chief designer of warfare, I will take full responsibility for this, but we haven't lost the battle quite yet. Look outside. Not a hint of disturbance not a hint of disturbance on the streets. Miliarium has not yet sunk into panic. We've struggled against the Seaborn for more than 200 years. We've experienced countless incidents like this. It's far too early to declare Miliarium lost to the enemy. Dr. Keltsit, Doctor, you must leave the city at once. I'll escort you to the port. I had assumed that a consul would need to remain at her post. As things stand, the port is at the heart of the city, a key military installation that we can't afford to lose. The 𝍊🋼 have already invaded my city. You think I'll wait for our uninvited guests to knock on the 𝍊🋼's door? The air's getting more humid the further we go. I can barely breathe. Watch your step. Use your device to float over. Don't step on that. Undersea brand. Indeed. Yet another means for the 𝍊🋼 to extend their reach. They've already spread from the top to the top of the tower to here, much faster than you'd see on land. The 𝍊🋼 are nesting in the city, above our very heads. You said there was someone directing them. Why? How? This is the work of that dead man, Blandis. He spent the last 5 years on this. According to his farcical plans, the signals emitted by this tower would, along with the weapons we brought, become a bridge connecting humanity and the 𝍊🋼. He has indeed built a bridge of sorts, but the 𝍊🋼 have not reciprocated his ambitious goodwill. Our connection has only served to alert the beasts to 𝍊🋼's position and given them an understanding of our defense mechanisms. The legions had taken great pains to divide this stretch of sea into manageable regions, but with the nests now converging on the signal, they are whole once more. The Class 4 weapons that should have destroyed the nests and repelled the 𝍊🋼 have done the exact opposite. 𝍊🋼 tissues grow along their firing paths. What should have withered was instead nourished. Even until death, he never realized his own arrogance. Senor Ulpianus, I don't quite understand what you're saying, but right now... The 𝍊🋼 already consider this tower a new nest. It will steadily spawn and attract more from other nests to gather here. Can we reverse the change? It's too late. We have only one option. Eject the city and unit the beacon tower stands on. Eject? But underwater cities aren't built in blocks. How would you... There is still much you do not understand about 𝍊🋼. Unlike the nomadic cities of the land, pieced together from cumbersome plates, 𝍊🋼 technology focuses more on the biological, especially when it comes to city construction. Biting off a poisoned limb is an instinctual reaction in a sea beast. Nothing difficult. But we must keep the remainder of the city, for it still has use. Otherwise, the 𝍊🋼 and the area will eventually unite into one, and no one would ever be able to stop them then. They'll come ashore without a hint of resistance. They'll land in Iberia. What do we have to do exactly? A massive yet precise framework supports each city unit of 𝍊🋼. The operation system controlling the linkage of the tower's unit should be in this control center. Once activated, it will send the entire tower into the depths. Is this it? I can operate it, but there's no response. It doesn't seem like there's any issue with the system, so it must be the linkage itself. The Institute of Facility Management has specialists dedicated to the maintenance of the framework. It is less likely to malfunction than a hunter's weapon is to rust. And yet here we are, precisely at a time like this. Reading error occurred too. Run fault diagnostics? Do you need my help, Mr. Avitus? Oh no, I was merely observing this abandoned little handy. Could he know something about this? I might know who to look for. Contact the 𝍊🋼 soldiers outside. They'll help you exit this place. Are you going to stay here alone? You still have doubts about me, young one. Good. But someone needs to stay in this control center. Once the tower completes its conversion, 𝍊🋼 will be unable to eject it, even if we manage to repair the linkage. A sea beast cannot spit out its heart when the heart is no longer its own. I must remain to confirm that the framework has resumed operation, then eject the tower myself. But if you do that, you'll sink along with it into the hordes of 𝍊🋼. You needn't worry about that. Or do you mean to say you'd be more suited for that duty? You don't have much time, young one. You have already... Isn't this the frequency of the beacon tower? 𝍊🼼🍊, Sea Patrol, who's inside the tower? Then what about Blondus? He's dead. The two of us were in contact, but I never noticed anything unusual. I should submit myself to the Consul for discipline once this is settled. 𝑍�𝑋𝑼𝑎𝑚 must abandon the tower. I must see it sink into the depths of the abyss with my own eyes. And after that? Will you return to 𝑓𝑍𝑰? Can you return to 𝑓𝑍𝑰? I told you not to ask pointless questions, Secunda. You should not allow the past to render you indecisive. You're overthinking things. Blondus told me what happened back then. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter which of you rejected my application. Though I'm willing to admit that I regret not becoming a hunter and fighting alongside you all. Deeply. I'll admit that I felt anger and resentment for a long time. I even envied 𝑍𝑉𝑋𝑖. But eventually I became accustomed to patrol work. For your sake, for the sake of the project keeping our home, our civilization safe. Staying outside of a specific project will allow you to see more sacrifices, more betrayals, more untrustworthy people, more things deviating from their paths. Like you right now? Have you thought through what you should bear? If you truly did betray 𝑓𝑍𝑰, if you truly are associated with that scum, then you're in that tower now to plan your escape. I'd bear the guilt of allowing a fallen 𝑓𝑍𝑰 to flee. If you're still a hunter, then you'll be fighting alone. However, it's already impossible to wipe your slate clean after infiltrating the city, breaking into the tower, not to mention the outcome of the tribunal. 𝑓𝑍𝑰 may not remember your sacrifice, just like how Tullia will inevitably be forgotten. But I agree, ejecting the tower is the most effective way to help 𝑍�𝑉𝑋𝑖 respond to this disaster. I approve of your choice. I'll afford you some limited amount of trust. Very well. You have 5 minutes. After that, I'll come rescue that land dweller in the tower. The entire city is following the Emergency Transportation Coordination Plan. We'll enter the axial channel via the 𝍊𝑃𝑟𝑒𝑖𝑡𝑟𝑒𝑚 and leave for the port. I will remain there to direct operations while the Sea Patrol takes command of this ship and sees you to dry land. The drone matrix will also head to the lighthouse and assist Iberia in mounting a defense. Should the city not organize an evacuation of its citizens as well? 𝑍�𝑉𝑋𝑖𝑚 is a military fortress. It is able to accommodate citizens during battle. All civilians have already been escorted to the shelter by the Sea Patrol. There's neural cables by your hand. Should they be twitching like that? No. With communications down, my connection to the ship's operating system has also been cut off. I'm losing control. Little Handy, run diagnostics on the entire ship. The systems breach is more serious than I expected. We might not have enough time to land. I'm sorry. At least the city's artificial gravity is still functional. The devices you have will help you move freely through the air. Now follow me. No need to be scared. All you have to do is walk out the door. Comms are still down. Looks like someone managed to cut off the entire 𝍊𝑃𝑟𝑒𝑖𝑡𝑟𝑒𝑚 from the outside. Monster! Monster spreads its ebon talons as a wave of heat washes over you. At nearly the same time, the consul draws her ceremonial sword and steps to the side to cover you and Celtsit. You take a good look at the enemy before you. An unusually shaped seaborn bars your way. It seems to lack hostility. Before monsters' roar startled it, it simply stood there quietly, its featureless face illuminated by the coral-shaped terminal in the middle of the 𝍊🋼🍊. The granular organelles surrounding its body spread out like arms, stroking the branches of the terminal and fusing with the flowing characters and symbols on it. Was it observing? Sensing? Can it even comprehend human perception and reasoning? It turns towards you. A seaborn. Is it the one that breached the terminal? This is unprecedented and not a good sign. How should I do this?
There is no justice here. Only the path that...
A seaborn trespassing in an Aegirian city, reciting an ancient proverb in a sanctum designed by sages past. Oh, you're going to bed now, Lisa? Okay, you can have one kiss. Mwah. I'll get some sleep. This might be the most ironic scene I've witnessed since I joined this war. Uncouth even for a provocation. Its use of language and its manner of speaking are all unlike the usual outcome of the Seaborn's forced learning. I fear this Seaborn was once human, Madam Consul.
Language. Never have I forgotten it. Never has it abandoned me.
What about your thoughts? Do you actually comprehend yourself when you clumsily mimic the sayings of the wise?
Comprehend? No, I did not comprehend their true meaning, even as I left them for posterity. No, I have a new understanding.
Left for posterity? Martus? You're Martus? The key member of the 4th observation team of the Mantle Ruins, the scholar of anthropology and prehistoric civilization who went missing more than 2 centuries ago. That Martus?
In my most distant memories, I was once known by that name. But now, you need only be cognizant of my appearance. You see before you a Seaborn. Call me as such. Seaborn.
The Seaborn floats towards you. Through its transparent skull, you see strangely colored orbs gather and disperse, steadily changing their formation.
There you go. Converse with the one behind you. Tell your little friend to stow its fangs. Its flames cannot burn my blood. 10.
Who are you? Why did you call Kaltzit that? Stay vigilant, Dr. Autunna. I'll speak with it.
What's it? Let's see now. If you are accustomed to that name, I can call you by that. I have waited for you. Sit. For the 2 of you.
For a very long time.
Doing that voice is kind of fun.
もし仲間が一人
Okay, 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 what's happening here?
Sneaky, sneaky.
Oh, that's the wrong spot. Oh well.
I'd only get a little closer. I'd only do straight up fights.
It's the wrong shape. Everything's the wrong shape. What am I talking about? They don't design this to be easy. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Good, good. Okay, they're duplicating. Okay. Looter then goes here. Okay, I'm gonna start grabbing these. Oh no. Oh no. You're an upgraded flower thingy. Not you. I don't have a second healer. Oh wait, there's another exit over there? I completely missed that. Damn it. Well, darn. Okay. Which of you have reached 100? Hang on. I need to go out of here to check that.
Doctor.
But if I go into the squad and click on you, plus 200 for May, of course, of course. I might actually prefer Shirayuki instead of May. Ethan's doing well. Has Ethan reached 200? Ethan has reached 200. How about Luther? Luther has reached 200, so I'll swap Luther for Quora this event, for this mission. Estelle, not quite there. Deep color, 200, okay. I can swap deep color out for Pudding then.
I'm being assigned to combat?
J for...
Just give me a bit more time to get ready.
Actually no, J would be good. What am I talking about?
I can do this.
忘了说他。
How about Shahe? Not quite. How about Rope? Rope is at 200. Okay, I can swap her out. For... I need someone who does arts damage. A lot of it, preferably. So click. And then I need someone... That medic, okay. Shit. 𝍊𝑋 again! Hello! Welcome! Hang on. 𝍊𝑋. Hello, Busy Pie! Hello! Hope you're all doing well. Hello, readers! Hi, fam! Hi, Uma! Umaris? Hello, hello! Hello, everyone! I am designing my team for this stage because it's a tricky one. Oh, hummus! I can swap out hummus from probably. Hummus is at 200, so I can swap hummus out for... Where is Chestnut? Chestnut's over here. Okay. Hi, Kamijo! Or is it Kamijo Toma? So is it Toma? Hi, Toma. Okie dokie. How was your stream? I hope it was good. Oh. Okay. I'm just about to start this stage. Did Seaborn make Martus's voice more feminine? No, but I just wanted a creepy voice. And not, like, I don't know how to put it. Okay, we're gonna start by whacking this one. We want this guy to be stopped at around this point. Again, we'll pop Ethan here. There we go. And now I can place Pure Stream there. Okay, that needs to fall a bit faster. So, Yuki time? Oh, of course Yuki's targeting the one that I didn't want to be targeted. That's okay. I'll put a stealth here. Then I'll put... Click. Actually, I might wait for this. And then this. Perfect. $19. Okay. Need to stop being nervously impaired. Okay. More of this. Then we place Xiaohe here. Oh! The plant reached further than I thought it would. Okay. Okay, but Click will do well from there. Wait, they're gonna go they're not gonna go around. They're still going forward. Huh. Okay. Goodness, it's scary. Okay. But I think we have this. Mission accomplished with 4 characters stunned. Eerie voice? That's the word I was looking for.
If you walked the land counts it, the changes in the sky would not have escaped your attention.
The Seaborn raises its head slightly, gazing up with its non-existent eyes. Perhaps a habit from the time it still had them. Above the dome, beyond the infinite water, something in the distance seems to have caught its attention.
Follow me. But take the hall to close again.
I see. Ega was right. The Seaborn had a clear reason for leaving the ocean and invading the land. You came because you noticed the change in the barrier.
I have seen through the eyes of we many who have ventured on land. There is a ripple in the sky. The immutable veil has been torn open.
Your survival instincts have driven you to monitor every change in the environment and the dangers they signify.
Dangers? Yes. You are indeed sharp, Calcid. Your program runs smoothly. Our communication will be effective. The calamity that hangs above terror, the eye that gazes upon us. Does it see the abnormality of the sky? Is it already? You understand terror, Calcid. The crisis it faces. You must help we many understand. Help we many evolve.
Am I hearing this correctly, Calcid? I hope this is the Seaborn's wishful thinking, rather than some kind of consensus you have, Dr. Calcid. Let it finish, Madame Consul.
The chance is fleeting. The oceans of terror, too small. Nourishment, space. We many must grow. We many require help.
You want to go into space?
Growing wings is not difficult, but insufficient. Going beyond the skies requires a revolution in the species' fundamental nature. You have the knowledge, Calcid. You and we many understand, and we overcome calamity.
Wherever their origin, the Seaborn are non-sapient creatures driven by instinct, ones that the Church fanatics have placed their unreasonable expectations on. But you know far more than either of those two groups possibly could. How?
We are the same, Calcid. You and we many have the same duty.
Perhaps I should reframe the question. How did the Seaborn evolve into what they are today? What do you have to do with 𝍊𝋼𝍊𝋼 going out of control?
Is the answer important to you? I can speak of my own history if it helps you understand my intention.
We've waited 2 centuries for these answers. What really happened in that failed expedition? What turned you into what you are now?
Failed. No. It was a success beyond our wildest dreams. We penetrated the deepest layer of the mantle ruins for the first time. The predecessors carved open the rock and built massive maze-like complexes reaching into the lower mantle. We'd never gone further than them, even after thousands of years of excavating. The mantle ruins, the genesis of Ava civilization. We thought we'd find more relics, more secrets, more answers there. But all you'd hoped for did not exist. All that was buried in those depths was the spark of hope.
Go on.
I I was separated from my team along the way. I was the only one to make it back to the end of the path. There, I saw. A giant. Some massive thing. Sleeping in the shadow of the cerulean tree. I did not see his entirety. A small part of his limb was enough to fill my entire vision. The limb was touching the transparent wall of the sealed chamber. Perhaps he was waiting for contact. Or perhaps... Before I realized it, I was standing before him and reaching out. The wall of the chamber was cold. I could feel his warmth. Then visions surged towards me from every direction, inundating me. A Fanarts shared its vision with you. What did you see? Fallen cities under an oppressively hanging dome. The land aflame, the stargate extinguished, the star ring broken, the road network shattered. The destruction of prehistoric civilization? Yeah. I never discovered the reason for its destruction. But I saw a vision of it before my eyes.
Oh, oops.
Yet it was not the end. Visions continued to flow. Visions far beyond my limited comprehension. Eternally dispersing particles and oceans of sand that never ripple. Cold, lightless plains and darkness without end. Burnt out stars and ever-expanding black holes. Nothing there was familiar. I lost all my senses, all of them, and even the Fanarts that shared vision with me could not sense its own existence. It was an entirely alien place without life, meaning, or information. The Seaborn's words stop. Through its transparent skull, you can see the strangely colored nuclei gather, then disperse. It seems to be thinking, and the nuclei represent the process of its thoughts. But you got it. You understand the meaning of those images. The crisis destroyed everything. It cannot be visualized. There is no word in our language to describe it. It was the end of prehistoric civilization, and the calamity that Terra must face. It is the end of all things. The horrified images left me as I pulled back my hand, replaced by another image, one that was broken, blurred, chaotic. He and his children shall devour all that is living and consume the moons and stars. All that is living and dead shall nourish him, and he shall murmur at the end of time. 𝍊👋🎤. Over and over. Chaotic. Murmur.
Was the 𝍊🋼🍊 asleep?
He was trapped within a dream. The dream stagnated. Evolution stagnated. Duty stagnated. He was trapped in the cerulean cave. Therefore, I must awaken him.
Cassia! Magister Avitus! Did you and your comrades go into hiding in order to destroy the city from within? Waiting for when the Sea Patrol's guard was at its weakest. You should be evacuating, Magister. The Sea Patrol has noticed, Cassia. They're investigating you. You're showing this much concern for me because that tiny embryo I left in the incubator reminded you of the past, am I right? I'm just curious. Do you regret your decision? Now is not the time for this. The Seaborn have invaded Miliarium. Stop what you're doing or the city will be lost. Isn't it a little late for that? Why did you choose to betray Aegar? I told you. The Seaborn have revealed the weakness of Aegar's very foundation. Before the people can regain the will to live, the collapse of their values will have crushed them already. Once you were a great scholar, but what are you doing in this city now? You found out about me a long time ago, didn't you? You had many chances to stop things from getting to this point. You could have reported me to the Sea Patrol at any time. But you did nothing. You sat and waited, watching everything happen like a blind fin spinning in a whirlpool. Did you come to Miliarium just to witness the destruction and validate your own despair? I'm not. I can still stop you. Why does Arknights always make the evil women hot? I know, right? It's such a tragedy. I saw her and I'm like, oh, I like her. And then I saw the rest of what happened and I'm like, oh, I don't like her anymore. As long as life remains tied to any value system, it is doomed to eventually collapse. Life itself should be reason enough to live. We must rekindle our most basic survival instincts and force the people to reassess the values they once held in such high regard. Only by doing so can they be saved from despair, from becoming like you. Like me. Watch out! Cassia got away. The linkage here was sabotaged. No wonder it didn't work from the control room. Leave this to me, ma'am. The Seaborn are approaching. My mentor at the Inquisition taught me some arts, although my talents are nothing to write home about. That woman worked at the Institute of Facility Management. She'd know how to sabotage the city unit framework. I appreciate your courage, Geordie. I'll call in people to get this area under control. As for Cassia, she's mine. Whoa! Already? Are you going to keep lying there, Mr. Avitus? His student had vanished. Avitus gazes upon the young man who suddenly appeared before him. Thank you for following, Kamijo. Sorry I didn't notice before. The fear in Geordie's eyes is obvious, but he lights his lantern with a trembling hand. Geordie, I heard your conversation. You're not an evil man, but I'm disappointed in you. Very disappointed. Did you come here with this city
Because you believed it wouldn't make it back. What are you hoping for? Death? You should have returned to land sooner. You should have returned to land sooner, Geordie. Look around us. The Seaborn will soon overcome the barrier between the city's units. It will all come to an end. Just like... where is...
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh yeah, okay. You never answer my questions properly. I may end up leaving Aga and leaving behind all my hopes and longings, but it won't be because it's about to be destroyed. I've read The Death of Life, you know, but it didn't answer any of my questions. Let's say all of your predictions come true and that at some point in the future we'll have no choice but to watch our homes come to the end it depicts. Just like that man in the book. But does the destruction of a civilization really weigh more than that of a city, or a family, or a person, here and now? I don't understand. I just don't. I wasn't sure if I should say this, but you said your loved one gave up on the idea of raising a child and died in disappointment. But was she disappointed in the future of Aga, or in you? The young Aga musters all his strength. The lantern shakes violently, and the flickering light repels the Seaborn. He gasps for air. Sweat rolls down his cheeks. Arvitus can see his arm tremble, but if anything, it's himself who cuts a sorrier figure. Look out! You have smeared your bodies on the outer wall, infiltrating through the trail of weapon fire before reshaping. What a convenient form of life. Seaborn.
Here. Nest we seen. Nest
You.
we incomprehension of heavens. You here wait us. Of pianus, no confusion. No need pain. Individual death. Eternal. The many survival. Eternal. Oh, pianus, I lead you. New individual born for you. Help you. Extend me.
Gladia. Ulpianus. There is no expression on Gladia's face. She holds her lance sideways, its point touching the floor. An almost imperceptible posture, enough to mitigate the fatigue that continues to rush up from within her, and to support her as she stands before her long-absent colleague. Your friend is now a pool of goo, but you still need to answer its question. Such rowdiness. This is really poor dance etiquette, you know. Dance is an art. It's all about elegance. You can't make it work with strength of numbers. What? That didn't pierce it. This used to be a cluster of coral changed by the Seaborn, but now it's a wall. No one knows how thick it is. The warning from the city, the unusual movements of the Seaborn, the results of the abnormal surgery. We must get out of here and find out what's happening at Miliarium. The entrance is gone. No, it's us. We're losing our sense of direction. Capsization. Everything around us is hardening. The algal blanket, the unhatched eggs, even the waves. The entire nest will become a hardened shell for these creatures to store their nutrients. A shell without a single crack. There is no way the three of us can... Even worse, the stagnating environment is exacerbating our exhaustion. Captain Gladia, shark? Behind you! Ew.
Must become whole soon. The sea. You can no harm. We many accept you. We many protect you. Here, much nutrient. Sleep. Only sleep.
The lethargy, which had heretofore been suppressed by the fighting, begins to spread through every limb and organ. The thick and hard shell solidifies the waves. All is stagnant. The hunters vaguely sense their consciousness sinking, as though there is no bottom. The hunters hear the song, coming from right beside them, coming from inside them. 𝑍�𝑋𝑼𝍊𝑋. Hardship we suffer is ever present. The life we thirst for is ever present. Over there, Skadi! Roaring. The faint roar comes from above. The thundering roar comes from beside. The stagnant seawater flows again. The infinite ocean could be bound by a cocoon. Then, from where comes the force that can break even the cocoon? Land, moon, the scent of wheat, home far away. The force has become legend. It has shattered mountains, death, time, all that is tangible and intangible. He will not be bound. You, many, alike. From where? The waves. You built them. You hardened them. Are you turning this to land? Will not allow. Contradiction. Wilderness. Mountains. Rivers. Wheat fields. Land is just land. Think. Approach. Crush. The one who was with 𝑍�𝑋𝑼𝍊𝑋. Oh, a pleasure to see you again, Sir Knight.
You. Not kin.
Out of the way. Doña Irene. I've been looking for you. Sorry, I received Consul Clementia's message. Dr. Calcett's group is headed to the port, but then we lost communications again. We must return to the Eye of Iberia immediately, inform Lord Carmen, and help the Inquisition and Penal Battalion form defense lines. No, we have to wait. Why? Most of the invading Seaborn are still under control near the beacon tower. If that unit can be ejected, then Miliarium is not yet lost. It can even organize a counterattack, but the cultists have sabotaged the linkage to prevent it from being jettisoned. His raw jump scared you during the story? Feels weird having humanoid noises in an Arknights cutscene. Yeah, kinda. Kinda. Okay. The Sea Patrol is already cleaning up the Seaborn here. We can't let these slip away either. I'll deal with them. As for whatever this linkage you're talking about, will your engineering skills help? Yes. I can fix it. Good. You take the lead on that. I'll protect you and Avitus. We can return to land as soon as we're done.
We worked together at the Eye of Iberia. Let's pray we do just as well this time. But these seaborn from the depths are different from the ones I've dealt with on land. I don't know how long I can hold them off. We've said all that needs to be said, Mr. Avitus. Come and help if you still have the strength. All right. Hurry, Jody. Hurry. Jody Fontana Rossa. You warned us through the beacon, and the strange knight who appeared at the lighthouse broke through the shell just as we were about to fall asleep. Is he part of your plan too, 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊? The man who's forgotten himself is an enemy of the sea, of everything abnormal that has become normal, and of himself. No one can control someone like that. We just happened to travel together. Are you the only one to make it back? They're on their way. Breaking through the nest's shell and returning through tides of seaborne. Your speed was remarkable, but you're too late. You've seen what's happened to 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊. The many have exploited Aga, and 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊 will be the stepping stone for their invasion of the land. And what precisely is happening here? The first thing I hear when I arrived at the port is that the abyssal hunter 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊 had entered the control room of the beacon tower and killed the weapons technology advisor of the waterway program. And indeed, Blandus's body is right behind you. You're quiet. I assumed you'd feel more anguish over him. I take it you'd figured him out then, judging by your reaction. I doubt we have time to discuss a fallen traitor, even if he was once our closest comrade. That young man really did it. The linkage has been repaired. You're trying to eject the beacon tower from 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊. A wise plan. It seems there's still hope for you. And this place will stink to the ocean floor in a few minutes. Do you smell it? The stench of frenzy. Seaborne above have noticed the changes to the tower. They're seizing the last opportunity to break the blockade and reach the other parts of 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊. Leave, Gladia. Now! Come back to Aga, 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊. This is your last chance. I still have things to clear up. If I give up now, all my efforts will have been for naught. The dreams and end of the prehistoric civilization where the Seaborn came from, where they will go, the calamity before our eyes and the destruction beyond the skies. Being aware of them is not enough to turn the tides. I must learn more. If the Seaborn have memories, I must know every last detail of them. I'm not disputing that. We're back in the ocean, back in Aga. We'll have many chances to approach the truth. That is your way, and I don't disapprove. But we need more approaches, more angles, in order to maximize our odds of victory. As you've said, I'm on another path now. Will you still try to stop me? Unless my eyes deceived me, the Seaborn I killed had evolved specifically for you. That doesn't just mean they're trying to accept you. It means that you also... Correct. Then you know well what being inside a rapidly hatching nest would mean for you in your present state. Answer me, Aga. How much of your mind is still your own? Is there even enough left for you to choose death? It's the only way for me to earn the trust of these scum. You're an outstanding hunter and a learned scientist. Are you really so arrogant as to believe you can control your transformation through willpower alone? Accidents like the one during the auto-adaptive junction surgery will not happen every time. I can't simply watch you walk down the path of destruction. You're at your limit. We're both experts in violence. You'll die if we fought here and now. Is that so? Her lance draws a cold arc through the air. 𝑍�🋼🍊🍊 lets loose the chains, and his massive anchor flies at Gladia, forcing her to leap up. The sound of the building sinking drowns out the clash of metal. Seawater and Seaborn rush into the control room.
In the last moments, Gladia watches her erstwhile colleague stand before the darkened holographic sea chart, calmly waiting for the colorful waves to swallow him. Your description raises many questions. The feasibility of modifying a 𝍊🼼 into a biological ark by leveraging its habitat of fostering an independent ecosystem inside its body had already been verified on Talos. And the technology used by the project was mature, and their complex was deep in the mantle. Energy coming from the heart of the planet could support the facility's operation for almost an eternity. The project had more than sufficient power supply. Why then did the project deep beneath the ocean stagnate, as you put it, and go out of control, releasing innumerable seaborn?
The existence of 𝍊🼼 was introverted by nature. He was to turn all things to nourishment for his survival. He was given meaning that did not belong to him, and a name that did not belong to him. 𝍊🼼. The changes they were put to were bolder, wilder, more ambitious, and more despairing. Their nature had long since exceeded the biological arc you speak of. For unknown reasons, however, their subsequent actions did not follow the program.
Meaning that the project did not proceed along the planned lines, but the new direction was also interrupted?
Not entirely. They continue to foster new offspring within themselves. But the lives trapped within the 𝍊🼼 were weak. They evolved too slowly.
What is breaking?
The new generation needed to be liberated. They needed to leave the 𝍊🼼's body, adapt to new environments, and obtain more nutrition. More nutrition to be fed back to the 𝍊🼼, so that his evolution may be accelerated.
Under normal circumstances, the organisms nurtured within a 𝍊🼼 are rarely able to venture out beyond its body. Yet the aggression the seaborn have demonstrated outside, the modifications these 𝍊🼼 have undergone were indeed transformative. So it was you, Martus, who brought the seaborn into the ocean and sowed the seeds of calamity.
Seeds of calamity? No. The offspring were weak, and 𝍊𝑋a was strong. The seabed was governed by a self-regulating ecosystem. Offspring that devoured the algae fields would be discovered and destroyed long before they could proliferate. But 𝍊𝑋a should not have been an obstacle. 𝍊𝑋a should have provided aid. Fortunately, my influence in human society was still useful.
The Institute of Development Planning had already announced the deaths of the members of the 4th Observation Team of the Mantle Ruins at the time. You came back from the dead just to corrupt your countrymen?
Held no forums, no debates. Only a few sincere conversations. I helped some discover the problem, some discover the answer. It was enough that it was enough that they were willing to give the Seaborn an opportunity. We will find a way eventually.
The ecological disasters, the fallen cities, the citizens lost. How many of those were you responsible for? Was it you who cajoled Blandis and the cultists behind him to infiltrate the waterway program and alter our weapon systems?
The so-called Church of the Deep is not a formal organization. At least not in the sea. It needs no guidance, no leader.
Not an organization. You mean you manipulated the people's thoughts and behaviors using only their faith and tenets? How did you implant the ethereal concept of God into them when such absurd ideas were completely absent in Ega?
Civilization could never truly purge the idea of primal worship. It awaits at the end of science, ready to be awakened at a moment's notice. The Ega you call cultists do not know the truth. Each of them acts according to their own thoughts and ideas. Each faces their own questions and dilemmas. Selfishness and altruism. Laws and perfection. Nature and civilization. Logic and unreason. The differences in strength and the shackles of form. Limitations of ethics and the future of humanity.
Hi, Toru Cake. What the Sigma? What the Sigma? Indeed.
A manufactured truth and the beautiful cycle.
You deceived your followers.
Scam, no. Primal worship originates from the survival instinct. Every thread of thought by every cultist ultimately leads to a single question: how to survive better. Faith? Tenets? No. Only a desire for survival. You struggle for survival too, do you not?
When you preached survival in Ega, did you ever tell them whose survival you were talking about?
Survival of life itself. Just as the survival of civilization inevitably involves the destruction of many more, survival of life inevitably involves the end of many. Many species have gone extinct due to the activity of the offspring. While they gathered nutrition for the Fanarts, I only recorded the number, only to forget it. For the moment 𝍊🼼🍊 awakened, it had become a meaningless, insignificant number. The birth cries of the newborn, interwoven with the wailing of the dying. Songs brought silence.
You knew the consequences of awakening the firstborn from the very beginning. A disaster for the entire ocean, for countless species, but you show no remorse whatsoever. You even gave up on recording the number of sacrifices. Was it because you'd gone numb after taking so many lives? But numbness is no excuse for your crimes, Martus. And the consul steps forward. Her ceremonial sword is elegant, but the light reflecting off it is chilling, cutting off the sightline of the seaborn gazing towards you. Madam Consul! The 𝍊🼼🍊. You designed the building that inspired so many of our people, myself included. But you stand here now, calmly explaining how you pushed Ager into the abyss. I've seen images of you. A gentle, meditative observer who has the habit of constantly pushing his large glasses back up his nose. Look at you now. Even the richest of thoughts can only be expressed by the simplistic movements of your cells. You still have your glasses on your neck. Is it to reminisce about old friends whom you have no right to reminisce, or to mock the dead who you have no right to mock? If you are Martus the Ager, then I hereby pass judgment upon the fallen. If you are merely seaborn, then we'll skip the formalities. The organelles surrounding the seaborn expand and parry Clementia's attack. The ceremonial sword cuts into the shadow of the coral-shaped terminal.
You cut off my control of the terminal.
Emergency transmission. This is the 10th attempt. The Seaborn have taken over the beacon tower. We cannot stop the conversion, but someone has activated the ejection protocol for that unit. Good job, whoever you are. Biosignatures keep soaring in number. The nests are becoming one. Incoming Seaborn tide. Scope is the entire continental shelf. Repeat. Incoming Seaborn tide. Scope is the entire continental shelf. Emergency transmission. This is the 11th attempt. This is Consul Clementia. Citizens of Miliarium, heed me. Once the city unit containing the beacon tower has been fully ejected, the rest of the city shall break through the Seaborn encirclement and move toward dry land. Reactivate the linkage mechanism in the city's framework and perform a structural reorganization. Force fields at full power. We'll stop the Seaborn tide from setting a single tentacle onto land. Legions 8 and 10, along with the Sea Patrol, send all operational warships out in turn to escort the city. May Ager and our forefathers be with you.
You're looking for an opportunity this whole time, Consul of Ager. You're tough. Me too, once.
Is it Ager or the Seaborn who are trying to open up a waterway? The readings are off the charts. The endless Seaborn tide is approaching us at the very moment. This is beyond the lighthouse's computational capacity. Dad.
I hear you. Look in front of you. Those deep colors between the sea and the sky are a tide of Seaborn. The wind grows quiet, and there is no point in trying to estimate their numbers and scope now. Experience is better than data. I've seen the ocean like this before.
Do you mean the profound silence?
Leave the rest to the Penal Battalion and the Inquisitors.
Report. 2 divisions are ready for action. Agrian drone matrices are helping us fine-tune our defenses.
There you go.
Sir, the ocean. Something's rising from it. Is that an Agrian city? Having sailed for thousands of miles, Miliarium rises to the surface of the ocean after casting out its heart. Every inch of it is being reformed, supported by its framework. An invisible force field extends towards the bottom of the sea and the highest reaches of the sky, forming a structure like a great wall. The structure breaks the surface of the ocean, creating a giant wave 100 meters tall. However, on the other side of the city, a real tide has arrived. It is like a living wave. Seaborn of various forms have fused with the ocean. The children of the sea are the sea itself. They've even changed the color of the water. The city from the depths and the rolling tide stretch out at the same time, colliding, embracing, and ripping at each other's throats. Nature never tires, yet civilization will not stop its footsteps. All is quiet. No wind dares tell of what it sees here and now.
Home
Oh. Goodness. My throat aches. And it's almost been 4 hours, which means that it is time to finish up here.
What was that medal that I just got? BP7 with a 3-star rating. And charge the waterway beacon completely. I see. BP8 with 3 stars and no more than 4 operators retreat due to humanity's bane from Martus Seaborn. That sounds tricky. Oh, I think I know what's happened. Hang on. Let me collect this. Then I'll go into here. Yes. This is the boss stage, and there are no rewards for the boss stage. And I think the stage after it might be like that Frost Nova stage where she dies. Sorry for the spoiler. Is it the Frost Nova? Is it Frost Nova? Is it the Frost Nova stage? I forget. It's some stage where someone dies. Okay. I think we're done here. Thank you for coming to the stream. Cinematic stage. That's a good name for it. Okay. Good stream. We made it an entire 3 stages because, oh my god, why do I have to read? It's so much. It is so much. Okay. I mean, I don't mean why do I have to read. I mean, why do I have to read so much? Why do they have to make these so long? Hiya. Okay. Well, there'll be another stream of this tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Let's find someone to raid. Anyone I'm following streaming? Oh, Madeline's streaming. I think? Hang on. Let me just double check that Madeline's streaming. Nice, and I'm not even overworking. It was lovely. Thank you. Thank all of you. Now you'll stop procrastinating listening to my voice. I see. Well, I'm going to be sending you over to Madeline, who is playing Overwatch 2. She has been streaming for a couple hours, I think. Yeah. So, the raid has start raid. Here we go. I see 13 viewers. 13 viewers are ready to raid. Catch you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves.